Conscripted by a secret organization, a group of strangers is loaded into experimental metapods, hurtling their souls across dimensions and into unsuspecting avatars. With each trip across reality, these newly minted metapilots gain access to unique powers and abilities, slowly transforming them into true masters of the Metaverse.
Is Meta Monday. Welcome to Masters of the Metaverse on the Zombie Orpheus Entertainment Channel here on Twitch. I'm your host, NGM James Durham. Joining me at the virtual table, I have Andy Dobrowski, Maggie Doyle,
Hello.
Sean Franklin, and Christian Doyle. We've got Mark on tech back in the real studio, bringing us live to you right now.
Hey, Mark. Hi, Mark.
What exactly is Masters of the Metaverse? Well, you know, it's only the most interactive live stream RPG on the planet.
The planet.
That's right. Nowhere else can you do what you can do on Metaverse. Nowhere else can you, our audience, change and influence the game live as we play it. How do you do that? Well, first we have our amazing store where you can get things from meta points to system shocks, rules of cool to the nearly all-powerful hack attack. And in addition to our store, we have our weekly Patreon polls. I have this week's results. Do you want to hear them? Do you?
Yes.
Well,
do you?
All right, Maggie, this week you get plus 20 health and plus 2 to a roll.
Very nice. Thank you, Patreon.
it's 20. Wow. Oh.
Christian, this week you get plus 10 health and plus 3 to a roll.
Wow.
Sean, this week you get plus 10 health and plus 6 to a roll.
Whoa. Thank you.
Damn.
Chat.
Andy, this week you get plus 20 health and plus 5 to a roll.
20.
And somehow I didn't get last, and I get plus 30 health and plus 3 to a roll. Look at that. Oh,
You beat me handily.
There we go. That never happens. Thank you very much, Patreon, for those. Speaking of Patreon, I have some special backers that I would like to thank. Chris Piazza, thank you.
Thanks,
Chris.
Hawk Robinson, thank you. I know Hawk. Hawk's great.
Thanks, Hawk.
Yay, Hawk.
And our third backer, who I want to thank, we all know, we all love, and it happens to be their birthday tomorrow. Wesley, the lovely Paximo. Thank you.
What?
Thank you, Max.
Pax. Sorry. It's a Pax attack. Pax hacks attack. Pax hacks. Pax hacks.
She does.
Yay.
So last week
Yes.
on Masters of the Metaverse, our heroes entered the aptly dubbed Worst West or Wonky West. I like both versions that our chat has come up with. In an effort to return hope to the people living there. Trapped in an endless, monotonous cycle of labor for a heartless company, the downtrodden citizens needed heroes, tall tales, and legends to restore both a sense of wonder and to heal the badly wounded spirit of the West. With the aid of their avatars of Joe Magarak, Cordwood Pete, John Henry, and Cassie Jones, our heroes assisted Butch Cassidy and his newly christened Wild Bunch with the train heist of the century, where they in fact stole an entire train. With word already spread, Edison and Rockefeller have ordered a harsh response, dispatching their chief enforcer, George Armstrong Custer, and a regiment of loyal soldiers to put a stop to these wild spreading tales and to capture their architect, one Samuel Langford Clemens. otherwise known as Mark Twain. It has been a rather uneventful journey returning to Montana and the Clemens cabin, but done so in great spirits. The deeds of the days past have brought a new lease on life and its wonders to our heroes. Perhaps all hope for the West is not lost just yet. But then you see it. You come upon the smoking ruins of Clemens' cabin, laid to waste. There is no sign of Clemens, but it is clear that there was violence done here. Impact craters and spent shell casings litter the ground surrounding the wreckage.
Craters?
Horseless carriage tracks lead away to the east. With Clemens captured, the West is surely lost.
So, rescue mission?
Rescue mission.
Rescue mission.
I need a minute. Stole a train. I need a minute.
It's fine.
That's so cool.
It was
Okay.
pretty
Alright.
cool.
In keeping with theme, I'm thinking daring rescue mission. Unbelievably daring rescue mission.
In.
It would have to be pretty near impossible.
Yes.
Are the ruins is the cabin entirely burned out? There's like nothing left?
Yeah, it is absolutely destroyed. If someone was inside of there, they had a really bad time.
I suppose we should make sure there is nobody inside.
I think that's a good idea.
Searching through the wreckage, it becomes clear that cannons were used upon this wreckage. Full-on, massive military might was brought to bear. And while there is,
Or stormtroopers is this precise.
while there are bloodstains in many places, there is no sign of a body.
This seems a bit much, don't you think? I mean, cannons just to take out old Mark?
It's quite a lot.
It's designed to be a killing blow to the spirit of the West. Need to
Can I
make a
discern
statement.
anything from the blood stains, from the pattern of the blood? Having played so many video games, they're so accurate in their.
It's
Blood.
way too much.
There's just too much blood.
Yeah, like way too much. Nobody could possibly ever bleed that much. It just doesn't make sense.
I'd like to taste the blood, see if it's real blood.
It is most certainly real blood.
Gross.
Yeah.
But you know what? If it was several people that got blown up, maybe. But
Right.
one person just doesn't have that much blood in their body.
That's not a
Well,
real thing.
Should we keep the blood in case he still needs it?
No,
Like in a tank?
I
No.
don't think he's going to be wanting this blood.
no, Peter, no.
There's got to be some clues, some tracks. Some
There
things
are, in fact, horseless carriage tracks leading away to the east.
Where are we on sliders right now? Currently, I can't see.
You are currently one away from Crash. Brony is full Brony. Rosie and Cassie are one away from Cassie, and John Henry is full John Henry.
All right.
Right. Well, should we follow the tracks?
Well, I like maybe some notice checks to see if we can.
Yeah. I don't want to follow like cannon range. I don't want to get in cannon range.
I'd like to use the direction of knowing what we know of who took them to deduce where they're going without tracking necessarily.
All right. Tell me what skill you're going to use for that, my friend.
That's a great question, and I'm really glad that you asked me just this second while I wasn't looking at any character sheets. I would like to use, I guess. Oh no, investigation.
That wouldn't be a bad choice.
I have investigation. I'd like to use that.
That wouldn't be a bad choice at all.
I'm fighting using knowledge of title. But yes, let's investigate.
6, so I beat it by 4.
All right. You believe no matter where they might finally be heading, they most certainly are going to head to St. Louis first, as it is the hub of travel in the region.
All
Wow,
right.
Cassie, that's quite a response.
And one can get just about anywhere from St. Louis, whether through horseless carriages, airships, or trains.
You need to be very
Happy
vigilant
birthday,
of
Pax.
rich people on the
Please
doorstep
choose
shooting
for
at us.
hashtag personality.
Oh, I missed that. We had somebody getting the hashtag personality there.
Happy birthday, Pax. Please choose for hashtag personality. Thank you, Nessie.
Oh, okay, well, looks like Pax gets to pick who's getting the personality disorder there.
Yay! That's a great theme for the show.
I like it.
Pax's picks.
Pax's
Pax gets
picks.
to pick. So somebody's going to move on their slider, and Pax is going to choose who.
I love
like
it.
that. So yeah, you would ascertain that they're most likely, no matter where their final destination is, head to St. Louis. Though most likely, if they have Clemens alive, they're probably going to be taking him to Andersonville.
Which is after St. Louis?
Oh yes, it's very far to the east and an inaccessible prison.
Oh, right. What's the nearest town from here?
There are small dotted towns all over the landscape here and a few in Wyoming to the south, but the biggest major hub is going to be St. Louis. It's going to be the largest city.
I just need to get to the nearest town with a smithy.
Well, I still think we should be looking into why there's so much blood here. I mean, obviously somebody was killed. If it wasn't Sam, then who was it?
They want us to think that he's dead.
Yeah, it
Very,
looks staged.
very, very.
They wanted us to look and go, oh, well, he's dead. Guess we move on. But it was too much. Also, Paximo chose that John Stone, or that John Henry needs to go one towards John Stone.
All right, so John Henry moves one towards John Stone. We get a little bit of John Stone mixed in with our John Henry.
A little bit of John Stone in my thigh. Never mind, sorry.
Right, no, this is clearly a setup. They clearly want us to move along or not follow them or think that it's a done deal.
Well, Missouri loves company, so let's do it.
Oh, God.
I
All right,
approve
so
of that
what I want to do is I want to grab the smithy at the nearest
Oh.
town and do some conversions on Casey's car.
All right. There is one that is not far from here, one of the many nameless towns dotting the state of Montana. Yeah, I did that.
Yes, I said show me already, but it was stupid. So,
And using my knowledge of modern vehicles
Miss
from
Paximo
Crash.
is
Hang
one
on.
of the smartest people I have met in my time here. I trust that she will know who best will benefit from a nudge to their hashtag personality.
Oh, looks like we're getting another one of those personality disorders given back.
Yay! Pax's pick.
All right, so
Before
your
that
knowledge
shift happens, I'm going to roll these dice.
Good plan.
It cannot stand that Mark Twain was taken out by someone else's cannon. Hashtag meta point.
Well done. Well done.
Well done.
See, universe has sense of humor. So,
Brody, one towards your avatar.
All right, so we get a little bit of Cordwood Pete mixed in there.
yeah, get a little short-tempered
think.
Is it because you're short?
and tempered.
There you go.
So it beat my metalworking by 10 and my engineering by 2, depending on which one of those I needed to use.
And what exactly are you doing to Cassie's car?
We're making it into a functional VTOL
Pax should
jet.
pick someone to get a buff.
Oh, good.
We got to beat them to St. Louis so we can
This is
maybe
getting hairier than
set
I
up an
expected.
ambush.
We just missed a tip because we didn't hit a little bling bling, but Keen did $25. Pack should pick someone to get a buff.
Aww.
Oh, lovely.
Nice. I see a theme emerging, Pax.
I guess, right? Let's see at the end of What? Oh,
Hashtag hack
What?
attack,
What?
one for Pax and one
What?
for old time's sake.
Good grief.
Oh my!
What?
Good.
Wow.
Googly moogly.
So wait. Pax gets her own hack attack, and then the group gets a hack attack. Like chat gets a hack attack.
Was that what that is?
Is that what just happened?
Yes, it's two
That
hack
in-
attacks.
Wow.
And Christian has to make up a song about it right now. What?
That's so much money in now time.
That just
We're gonna
happened.
get an amazing
Did
song.
that happen? Did that just happen? Because I think that
It happened. It
Something
happened.
happened.
Well, my Monday started off really crappy, everyone, and it just got a whole lot better. So thank you,
Monday?
chat, for making my Monday better.
Metaverse Money Days.
That's
It's like gonna have a PAX attack.
thank you guys.
Are
Thank you
incredible.
very much. Thank
Did
you.
you say that there was a meta point in the
Yes.
store?
Yes.
We have 2 meta points in the store. 4 moments of clarity.
Okay.
They,
After I make that roll, I would like to complete my journey over to Pilot so I can get the bonding stuff done.
All right, that's only 1 more to go full crash from where you're at.
Great, then I'll use the 1.
Okay, 1 meta point used, and you are now full crash.
Bangarang, but that's enough for me to have deep dived both ways, so.
Yeah. Oh,
So you
chat
are-
has a hack attack.
Because
Oh,
frankly, I want this guy's metalworking skill. I just
So
want
you're able to do this craftsmanship job. Unfortunately, this thing is just too heavy to truly fly. So what it more likely
Oh,
does is long jump.
glide.
It more does a long jump. As you get going fast enough, you get a good jump and you fly for a short distance and then land again and so on and so forth.
Yeah, it just has to get us to St. Louis faster than the other guys. That's what we're going for. Or to catch up quickly.
All right. Well, what might assist somebody with that is I know someone said something about notice checks and looking at those tracks. So who was talking about? Oh yeah, that was our favorite John Stone / John Henry who was going to do that. Let's figure out what he can figure out about these tracks by examining them.
While you're rolling, we are at boosted, and the second hack
Yeah.
attack, they would really prefer it to flood at some point.
Okay, we got.
That's not taxes.
No, I get that. That's totally cool.
Oh, and I get the buff.
The people are sick.
I don't have a.
You're boosted. It's at the bottom of your pilot sheet.
What is the flood gonna
No,
do?
I have a. Oh, my pilot sheet. Okay.
Yeah, avatars don't have a boosted ability. Pilots do.
Got it.
But I do
Okay,
need that
boosted.
notice check from you, my friend.
Oh, yes. Indeed. Yes, indeed, Rooney. Okay, let me see. 12. Me by 2.
Beat it by 2. You can judge between the wreckage and the tracks that they are about 2 days old.
So we got a 2-day head start on us.
2 days
That's not
start.
too bad, though.
There were a total of 7 of these horseless carriages that were present.
7 carriages.
Yes, at least 30 men were present as well.
What?
That's quite a lot of men to take one man. And no
I mean, the
offense.
per carriage ratio is really high there.
Yeah,
I mean,
also,
What does anyone know about Samuel Langford Clemens? Does anybody know anything at all about him?
That was.
Surely I do. Let me check. All right.
go for it.
Beat it by 7.
Beat it by 7. You seem to recall in this particular metaverse that Samuel Langford Clemens allegedly once drank from the fountain of youth and is immortal.
I relay this information. Samuel Clemens once drank from the fountain of youth.
On
which is in
accident.
Florida, very far away from me, but that's fine. And is
On
now.
complete accident.
Oh,
Right, so actually then the amount of blood might not be suspicious in the sense that if they injured him,
yes.
he is immortal, then they just kept injuring, so there's just more and more blood, but he's producing more and more.
It does seem that the intent was to kill, maybe not capture, but we should have looked around to see if there were any charred remains of a white suit. Because he's probably naked and angry, being taken.
Did that still warrant 30 men, though? I mean, being immortal doesn't necessarily make you a badass, pardon the expression. Uh-oh.
You know who's cool? Paxamo is cool, so clearly the rule of cool should be dictated by Pax choosing her favorite tonight. Hashtag cool rule. Happy birthday, Pax.
Yes!
Oh, wow. And a
Wow.
cool rule added into it as well. That is fantastic.
Yay! This is the best metaverse.
Wow.
We got to so cool for Pax's birthday.
Yeah, things are definitely going to flood at some point here.
But what kind of flood? That's what I'm dying to know.
Obviously, Samuel Clemens' blood. We're just gonna
Oh.
start cutting at him until we drown.
That's
Blood?
horrible.
Really?
Right. Okay. So I don't know if
People-
I can- yeah.
Who is this Paximo they speak of? They seem to prefer him.
Right. So immortal. So we know the blood was probably Mr. Clemens, and I agree with you that they probably came to kill him. However, realized shortly that they could not, and then took him hostage. But I also agree with Mr. Henry in the sense that 30 men to take out one is ridiculous,
Maybe they were cops.
unless. But also, like, it could be the tall tale. Like, that could be helping us out, maybe in a sense. He couldn't be taken down by 30 men. I mean, that's a good
That
story.
is a good story.
So while you were gone, we discovered that Mr. Clemens has apparently drank from the fountain of youth and is immortal. And there were about 30 men dispatched to capture him. We're thinking that the reason that there is so much blood is it was, in fact, Mr. Clemens' blood, and because he is immortal, it just took more resources to take him down. But still, 30 men, that sounds like a lot of men to me.
That sounds like just the right amount. They could have brought less if they would have said people.
Fewer, but we should probably get going.
We should, but I think let's also spread the tale of the man who couldn't be taken down by 30 men. I
They
mean,
could have done less if they had fewer people.
what?
I'm not sure. One part that was omitted there, John Henry also discovered that this event took place 2 days ago, so they have a 2-day head start.
Which is nothing, because as long as we're using my carriage, we'll catch up no problem.
Oh no, is she going to be driving us?
You bet your cute little butt I'm going to be driving.
Now, a lady wouldn't say such things about another man's hind parts.
That would require me to be a
Yes.
lady, and I think I have proven that I am not a lady.
Lesson, of course, that lady was not a lady.
Now, due to the modifications
tussle in your
made by
bustle.
Joe, I'm going to need you to make a driving check and a piloting check.
All right, no problem. And I am one away, so I'm on 10s. All right, so that was so for driving, I beat that by 2. And then that's my piloting is low. Okay. Woo! All right.
Yeah,
think
your
about-
piloting is not particularly high. Flying is not a common skill.
Right, Hafner. Oh, hein, batu.
But is there a... Oh,
Can you translate?
Are you doing an impression of my grandma?
Could you translate what that means?
I missed my piloting by 6.
Ooh, missed piloting by 6. All right,
What's
so
your
you guys take off at a very significant clip because, Cassie Jones never goes slow. And the
Oh, no.
driving part is pretty great. And the first couple of times that she launches into the air and gets that sort of glide pattern, it's really unsteady. You're hanging on for dear life and terrified, but
I'll get it.
and then pulls it off again. But on the third one, she doesn't really stick the landing. I mean, well, she sticks the landing, but then she sticks the nose of the carriage into the ground on the landing.
No, she doesn't.
Nah.
Nope, she gets a nice, soft, feathery landing, as I use my powers to stop the sudden descent of the vehicle.
We could have invented lawn darts. But you had
I
to
know, and it was too scary. I beat it by 9.
All right. Well, you still go down nose first, but rather than it being a horrible and devastating impact that perhaps injures everyone, it just goes to a stop right before impact, and then
We're all
slowly
still,
hits the ground.
pointing down towards the ground.
We're fine.
And manage to save the vehicle. However, that is kind of the what continues to happen for almost an entire day of Cassie Jones at the wheel. Numerous close calls, which then crash and has to stop the vehicle from wrecking and becoming a complete and destroyed mess upon the ground.
At some point, I'm just going to take care of the takeoff part too, so we can get a little bit more distance out of it before we almost have to die.
And so for everyone else in the passenger seats, this is a particularly harrowing journey of what looks like should be immediate death over and over and over
It's
again.
like- It's like being fired out of a catapult 26 times.
I'm just helping you with, guts of steel, everyone.
Yeah. Hanging on to your lunch becomes difficult, but eventually you reach the outskirts of sprawling, perfectly box by box, block by block, gridded St. Louis with its hundreds of factories and perfect tiny little square cutout factory worker homes and its perfect little streets. Everyone in their perfect company uniforms.
So,
Where do we go?
right. That's a very good question.
I'm assuming they have some kind of prisons in these block by block places.
They usually have small detainment areas, but again, you guys have been to a couple of these major cities, and all of the towns in the Rockefeller Edison company empire are laid out identically. Some are just bigger than others.
But this is where they brought Clemens, right? 'Cause you said that.
This would be where they would have headed to initially before they went anywhere else. They would have had to have taken him to St. Louis, unless they planned to drive him all the way across the state,
So,
which makes
Are
no
we still
sense.
on the outskirts? If
You're
we're still on the
still
outskirts, look for tracks. Let's see how old those are and see how much time we gain.
Give me that
Cool.
notice check again. You have been trying to follow them. I mean, the flying thing has made it a little difficult, but
I beat mine by 1.
you are able to track down those tracks. See what I did there?
Here they are. Someone with better notice can maybe figure out how old they are.
Yeah.
They look about.
I beat notice by 8.
Beat notice by 8.
Wow.
I don't notice the damn thing.
They probably arrived scarcely an hour ahead of you. You burned up and caught up almost 2 straight days of travel using that flying method.
As my friend Dwayne Johnson says, you're welcome.
I believe that was a second boosted that we just got the message about. Was that second boosted? Can someone confirm that for me? Is that
reading it right?
What?
Which,
Second Patreon boost from the store.
yeah, okay, so as those of you who aren't familiar and have not had this happen in a lot of episodes, the second boosted means, you know those great Patreon bonuses we got at the beginning? You get those twice now.
Woo!
Ooh, now I have
Amazing.
almost as many as James did.
Me too.
Well, see, that's
Now
the thing.
I get 4.
I don't get the second one, so
Well, of course you do.
Yeah, you do.
now that would not be fair.
Who cares about
totally fair.
This is fun. This is a game.
Wild
James.
West, baby.
You know what? Fine, I'll take it.
That's right. We
Right,
make you.
Samuel
We
Clemens.
always
Let's
make
find
you
out
work
see what
for it.
happens.
So just
You're welcome.
Just, if you come to regret that later, remember this moment.
Bring it on, James. We have a pocket hack attack from Paximo. I have
I'm
no
sure-
fear.
Yeah, so you were able to catch up 2 days of travel very, very quickly. You have they'll reach St. Louis, and they got here maybe an hour. Can't be that much more ahead of you. So, yeah,
Love it.
they might still be here within the city, or they might not. But if they're not, then they're not far.
Do the tracks go specifically like to the center of town? Do they go to the out? Like which
You can follow them
direction?
if you wish.
Yeah, I would
You
actually
won't
like
know
to
until you
follow.
follow them. All right, they go through one of the main streets. St. Louis is much bigger than some of the other cities, so they have 4 main streets, all named Main Street.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Is there any kind of delineation from one main to the other?
Well,
Main
as
Street
each set
North?
of grids is laid out identically, it is though they just combined 4 cities together, and each one has its perfect block pattern. And then the next one starts with its perfect block pattern.
Ah.
And then the next one starts, and each one has its own main street going through
I
it.
see.
UHD style. Got it.
Yeah. It is pretty terrible, but in fact, it is down one of these main streets that you are able to follow it, and you do get a lot of looks for your strange, modified horseless carriage as you head through town. And the tracks head over past the train depot and to the landing pads where the airships usually come in and leave from.
Ah.
Mm-hmm. Zeppelins, dirigibles.
Well, that makes sense. They will travel farther and faster in an airship. In fact, hold on, but it might not. There's a chance it hasn't even taken off yet. I mean,
There are no airships here.
This is.
okay, so they did.
Do we know anything about the airships in this world? Like, are they still filled with hydrogen?
You don't know too much about them because they are exceedingly rare. They are not often used by anyone other than top tier company people doing top tier company work. And they're most certainly not used for military applications.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Well, should
Is
we
there
try to
anyone-
see? Oh, go ahead.
Is there anyone in town who would seem to be some kind of authority figure?
Well, there's your usual supervisors and floor bosses mixed in among the employees. And then, of course, those that go around with clubs and beat those employees who don't work fast enough or hard enough or try to take a longer than mandated break or a sick day.
Christopher Nolan. Let's. I don't know. Do you think we should go to the dirigible?
I do have one more
I
thought.
would-
please.
Yep.
It seems like going there and seeing one when it took off, and two, the destination that it was going to would be helpful.
Yeah.
Well, my other thought is this. I imagine if anybody here raises up a ruckus a bit too much, they have some kind of jail for them.
Mm-hmm.
That person might be the one that would be in knowledge of people who might be doing any kind of underhanded things going on around here. You know what
We
I mean?
should definitely ask if 30 people showed up to town, because that's a big party, and there
That
also might
is
not
a
have still
big
been 30 people.
It is a big party. My only
It's a bar here.
Did a few dozen men accompanied by Mark Twain come through town? They may have had him tied up.
Maybe.
my only wonder there is this seems like it didn't go as planned, and so they're trying to keep it under wraps. They get into town, they go straight to an airship, and they leave. Like, I don't think they're going to be stopping. We should go ask questions, but I don't know how. They weren't going to stay here, is my point. So having a contact here isn't necessarily important, other than we have badges that say we get through, we get whatever we want.
I
Days
didn't
of travel.
I didn't totally explain my point right because I had
Oh,
a brain
okay. I'm
cramp.
so sorry.
I didn't play it right. What I meant was, so any of these drones walking around here aren't going to yield any information. Anybody who would know and say something would be locked away somewhere. So if we found such a person, they might have some more information. That's what I meant to say.
I see what you're saying now. That makes much more sense to me.
Not too bad of an idea.
We
There is a
could.
bar here.
we could
You didn't
split
get to
up,
go.
but I hate splitting up.
Just tell me where to go. I'm in.
Well, we want to go both places, right? We want to check out, see if there's a criminal who might know something, an underhanded dealing or names, and then we also want to go
Or like somebody who's in jail.
in
Well, I
jail.
mean, somebody who's a criminal to them for not towing the line, speaking up too much, whatever, might be someone who would tell us something.
Well, I know I could get thrown in jail. Go to that bar. It's going to take 10 seconds for someone to make a comment about my height. I could probably get thrown in jail, see what's going on in there.
Then we have to get you out of jail, and I feel like that's just adding a step that is unnecessary and could be avoided.
Maybe be alone in jail. I could meditate for a little while and probably get out pretty easy. Loudly, but easy.
Well, let's we're close to the airship place. That's where we are. We follow the tracks to that location. So since we are
you're
right
pretty
here,
near to it.
since we are right
It
here,
is
why don't
heavily guarded because they don't let common people go near where the airships take off and land from.
Order.
Oh,
How dare you?
Yes.
is there evidence of 7 carriages? I assume that would be some.
The tracks are headed straight that way. You've been following them down Main Street.
I also want to point out, as myself, that when I mentioned the idea about questioning somebody in a jail, our GM did say it sounds like a good idea.
That's true. That is true. He did.
So stop following the tracks and go to the jail?
I'm up for doing both.
But going to the jail seems like a good idea.
Okay.
I'm just waiting to hear from you guys.
It looks
We
like
do
we're
have-
going to stop following the tracks and go directly to the jail.
Do not
All right.
pass go.
Not going to pass go. You're not going to collect $200. Got it. Okay. You head to one of the nearby detention areas. These are typically used for workers that don't meet their productivity quotas. But as you head there, you can see that this is not your typical detention area. There are some of those golems standing out front, and there are 7 carriages parked there. There are lots of blue uniformed men lounging around, military men, not company guards,
Are you still wearing
waiting
the
outside.
golem armor?
No, he is not.
Right.
I-
Okay.
I'm not? What? I'm in a... Oh, him. Okay.
Him.
I thought
He is not piloting. You are still wearing your armor, John Henry.
Right.
He
Okay.
is not
Heavily
piloting
guarded.
it like a mech at the moment, though. No,
No, I couldn't have gotten on the car if I was.
that's correct.
7 carriages outside. How do we want to do this?
Well, we could make it 0 carriages outside pretty quietly, probably.
Why are we going to do anything quietly at this point?
That's a good point.
That is a good point.
Wonder how many people are in this jail that would enjoy a carriage to get out of St. Louis.
We have to figure something appropriately tall tale-esque to do. So
Yeah.
let's just make sure that they've got him here and then, make our demands or whatever.
So how do we make sure they got him here? I don't know if we'll get in.
We could try to find a roster or something. Smooth talk the person at the front desk. Get a look at who's in there. Maybe there are other interesting people in there too, who we could finagle a visit with.
And disguise myself as a soldier and just walk right in, Scooby-Doo style.
Ooh.
Hey, you want to Chewy?
I mean, it doesn't even have to be a good disguise. I'll just use one of Foxman's abilities.
Oh, right. Because we're boosted. That's a fantastic idea.
Master of disguise. I'll just put on a hat and some glasses. We'll be okay.
I love it. Thank you, chat.
Oh. Fantastic.
Oh,
So
yeah.
is that your plan there?
I'm gonna use that master of disguise ability that I don't normally have, and yeah. Maybe should we knock out a couple of guards first just to make it look good? We have to do that so we can steal their outfits.
Right.
So I'll use the ability to lure over exactly the right number of people who are wearing the right
Paxima is
size
currently being
outfit
focused on
for all
rather
of us,
heavily since
including
her
a little
birthday
one
is
for
tomorrow
Pete.
and everyone knows
I want
she's
to
awesome.
imagine I'm
Maybe if we
flopping
get Bernie
around
to pull
with,
hashtag
like,
aggro,
all my
everyone will
sleeves.
stop making
Yeah.
her feel all loved and stuff.
Now, what did we miss?
Paximo is currently being focused on rather heavily since her birthday is tomorrow and everyone knows she's awesome. Maybe if we get Brony to pull hashtag aggro, everyone will stop making her feel all loved and stuff.
Aw.
Now,
That was
folks,
very
you
sweet,
have to
Starlight.
realize that Pax is, doesn't like a whole lot of attention on her, so you need to stop, folks.
Yeah,
You need to stop
Yeah,
Tweeting
don't
about love
buy
should
any
be dishing out.
lavishing attention on Pax. Stop
I do want
it.
to pull aggro and just have you throw me through a crowd of people, Crash.
I want to do that so bad.
I want to do it so bad.
What do you call that? A curveball special?
Yeah, something like yeah, follow the birdie, something like that. Because if they don't, they're hosed.
With Corbin Pete's height, it's more like a T-ball, but
Oh, we have a special request from Pax.
You don't
What
throw
was
the
that?
team.
You have a team up. Do it.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well,
I
don't worry.
think they have
We'll get
plans
there.
for that team.
We'll get to it.
I believe there was a plan that was discussed earlier about that team up.
Indeed.
So tell me more about this disguise thing. I want to hear this.
Well, so, the first thing I do is I do Bugs Bunny, Girl Bunny to get a bunch of soldiers to come over, and then we pull them all behind the carriage and beat them up real. I lost James. James is gone. There he is. Found him
There he is.
again. Okay.
He's a master.
Gotta do
of the
Bugs Bunny, Girl Bunny.
Yeah.
Yeah. Isn't that weird?
Well, but it's like clearly just Joe Majorak with lipstick on and maybe a wig. Hey, big boy! Whole Russian accent and everything.
Do you have oranges in the front of your shirt, and while you're talking, one of the oranges falls out?
Yeah, probably. It's not
Yeah,
even really like
one
me
cantaloupe
lipstick.
and
It's
one
a
small
wig
apple.
on my hammer that I'm holding up. Like, for some reason, they think it's a beautiful woman. That's
Hey,
fair.
Bugs Bunny was a beautiful.
And you're swaying your hips way too much.
Way
Yeah.
too much. I am clearly objectifying myself at this point. So before I get myself all hot and bothered, yeah, we knock these guys out that have exactly the right size uniforms on. We take them and we just walk in like no big deal, even though two of us are carrying very large hammers and one of us has an engineer's cap on.
And all of us are swishing our hips far too much.
I attached the cortical electrode.
We're dressed like guards now. We can't get out of character that quickly. We're not good at this. It's not a good disguise, but it's a great disguise.
Well, I can't really do a lot against the boosted abilities from Patreon, so I'm kind of stuck just dealing with it.
I
So,
still have to make my check. I haven't
That's
quite
true.
gotten away with this bullshit yet.
Crossing fingers.
I'm full crash, though, so I at least get my good dice.
Good.
I've been 3. Power usage is 18, so I beat it by 10. No, I'm good.
yeah.
I'm good.
What?
So despite not even
We don't even have to try.
resembling a real woman, when Joe goes over, the exact number of soldiers turn and the hearts come out of their eyes and everything, that's
Yes.
sticking all the way out. You can see it
Yeah.
beating in their chest, And it happens to be the heart shape rather than a real heart shape. Yep. Exactly. The tongue sticking out, feet thumping on the ground, and the four of them bent over behind the wagon. Where
Hearts literally beating out of their chest.
Yes.
When they get close enough, I grab one of each of their hearts as they pull out and squeeze.
Tie them into a knot so that they slam together when their hearts beat.
Oh,
fantastic.
never bring cartoon physics into a grim and gritty Western world.
nothing I can really do about it. You brought it in. I just got to deal with it.
Yeah, that's okay. It only lasts for that one power, so.
Yeah.
Yep,
Does it?
but that just happened. They come around behind the carriage, and the four of you are, or excuse me, the three others of you are waiting for them as they come around behind the carriage.
Saying we could have a cartoon Wild West.
Yep.
Right out there.
We grab them, and there's a tornado thing, and then we're in their costumes.
I need fighting checks from everyone, please.
Yeah.
You got it.
Nice. Beat it by 12.
Pays to be good at fighting, huh?
Pays to be
Yeah,
good at
I
actually-
beat mine by 5.
This is a group that is good at fighting. I think all of these pilots are amazing at fighting, right?
They, in fact, are all pretty good at it as pilots.
Yeah. Beat it by 9. This is like the fightiest bunch of pilots, I think. You
I
added
think they might actually be better at shooting, but only marginally.
as a group, maybe.
Yes, all four of these people are very good with guns.
Yep. You add in Andy, James, and Bruno, and you have like an actual army.
Oh,
Mr. Jackson appears to have many good ideas. I want to help ensure that he is able to execute them to the best of his abilities. #CrashBuff.
wow. Thank you, guys. Thank you very much. This is much appreciated.
This is
Fantastic.
amazing!
All right, I heard a couple of those fighting check results. I still needed to hear a couple more there.
I beat mine by 5.
By 5.
I'm gonna use my wait. What does my badass do again?
Badass is your buff that allows you to ignore damage for a turn.
Oh, that wasn't what I thought it was. Okay, never mind.
You can use it to move yourself anywhere on the slider if you don't like
That's
where
what I thought it was. Yeah, okay.
Yep, you can do that to move yourself anywhere on the slider, but it's burned if you do it.
Yeah. Well, it's been there since 2 weeks ago, so I'm going to go ahead and use it.
Okay, where do you want to end up on the slider?
I'm just going to go full John Henry.
All right, back into
Nice.
full John Henry.
So now I can use my 8s, and now I'll give you that roll you were asking for.
Yes, you can.
Ooh! And I beat that by, hold on a second, make sure.
I've got a bunch of highlights.
Beat it by 10.
Beat it by 10. Well, once again, as the cartoon physics die down, but just before they do, there is the whirlwind of dust. As you spin around in a group, occasionally a person sticks their head out, and then they're grabbed by the back of the neck and pulled back in. A foot or a fist comes out, and then the dust settles, and the 4 of these soldiers are now naked and on the ground, and the 4 of you are wearing soldiers' outfits.
Yay!
Andy Cap
James.
just laid out in front of us.
Are you sure they're naked, or are they all in striped long johns?
They're in striped long johns because it's cartoons.
Right. Thank you.
X's on their...
But because it's Metaverse, one of them has their butt flap hanging open.
So were these soldiers or were these police? What were these?
These were 100% soldiers. These are not police. They are not typically used in this capacity whatsoever. And in fact, these soldiers have strange little golden insignias on their shoulder pieces. They're from some sort of special group or another.
All right. I'm gonna see if I can find out what that group is by using Judge Opponent.
Give me a notice check. You absolutely can.
I'm going to help boost you on it.
Awesome.
Just-
Sorry, I get excited about boosting.
Hey, Mark.
So excited.
That is an 8. So on my notice check, I beat by 10.
Oh, that is wonderful. So these gentlemen are part of Custer's elite unit, his hand-picked and selected soldiers.
Then we can get in no problem.
Now, they are used to do, mostly they hunt people down for Edison and Rockefeller. That's their primary job.
All right, we lucked out with that. Do they have weapons?
Yeah, most of their rifles are on board their horseless carriages, but they all have pistols on their belts.
Great, I'm taking all their pistols.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
And, well, I guess we could pass them out amongst us if anybody wants pistols, but if not, I'm just going to have them all stuffed into one belt.
Oh, that's a tough choice because I like the idea of having one, but I also like the idea of you just having a belt full of pistols.
Now, I resent the fact that you think that I am too small to handle a rifle, so I am going to go. You said that the rifles are in their carriages.
Yeah, their rifles are.
Since according to Hellcat I am a hobbit,
two?
I will give presents on my almost birthday. Hashtag meltdown for James and hashtag metapoint ×3 for the cast. Thanks everyone. Have a waffle.
Wow.
In another town the cowboy rides in wearing a paper suit. Paper pants, paper jacket, paper chaps. Even a paper holster. He wasn't in town 10 minutes before he was arrested for rustling hashtag system shock hashtag meltdown hashtag John Buff.
Oh.
Oh my god!
Wow.
Taximo
Wow.
and Uber.
Oh
Thank
my
you.
goodness! Oh my goodness!
With the stacked store, that means that you've got 2 uses of your boosted abilities as well now. So
Even though I just used one.
So you've got 1 left now. You still have another use of a boosted ability there. So this is.
I was hoping you'd say I still had 2. Okay.
Not in your case. You did use 1. So yeah, that's a fully stacked store. Before we get any further into your wonderful nefarious plans, I'm going to throw a wrench into them and use that system shock they got for me right away. That's got to happen now. I have to mess things up at least a little bit while they're stacked so high in your favor.
That's terribly offensive of you. I love it.
Bring it.
So we're going to start with the full John Henry / John Stone and move him from that position first. And we're going to put John Henry, John Stone exactly in the middle.
Oh.
Half and half.
The worst of both worlds.
The worst of both worlds. Looking over there at Rosie and Cassie Jones, we're going to put you all the way into Rosie. Cassie Jones is not going to be here to help you out at all.
Wow.
That is lucky, actually.
That's
Wow. Now you're really Rosie.
Yeah, the rest of the team might appreciate.
And she's Rosie Real.
Yeah. On the other end of things, Crash and Joe, let's see where that ends up at. Joe, you liked being Crash so much, so let's go all the way, Joe, on this, and Crash can stop interfering for a while.
Hey, guess what, Joe Majorak? Your soul is mine.
So you're all the way Joe now on that one, and
I've been all the way Joe twice and all the way Crash once. I just made something with that boy.
We all the way, all the way.
And for Brony and Cordwood Pete, let's have Cordwood Pete out to play and go full Cordwood Pete.
Okay.
I'm the only person who is more pilot. They're all more Avatar. God bless it.
I'm right in the middle.
And that is the use of that system shock, because, that's great. Make sure you have the folder of other character sheets handy, because I'm going to be melting you down at some point here today. So now you have changed clothes. Before you went full Joe, you were able to determine that these were, in fact, members of Custer's elite unit designed to hunt down people. And you put a bunch of pistols in your belt. Now what?
Well, we're going to go in.
Yes, we're going into the place, right?
That's the plan.
Who's playing?
Your plan.
I am not convinced of this.
You don't need to be. Just trust me.
Why do I have all these sissy guns?
They make you feel better? Honestly, we just thought it looked good.
Art of disguise, I understand.
Right.
I am to be one of Custer's men then.
Right. Mm-hmm.
We're done
gonna-
with
we're-
the Nepper Bucks.
We are going to speak to criminals. I remember all of this.
Right. Yeah, no, we're gonna go in, we're gonna see if we can get information, and then I really like what Pete was saying about maybe these 7 carriages would be very handy for some people in that in those cells to maybe get out of St. Louis.
I'm sorry, it's like you're speaking in some kind of code. Just say what you mean.
Yes, please say what you
Jailbreak.
mean. I just now found out that Port Boignan is French Canadian. I did not know.
Right, it's going to be a jailbreak. We're going to get information, then we're going to do a jailbreak.
All right. Sure, I'm following your plan. Let's go.
The four of you walk right past the other soldiers who don't even bat an eye, despite Cardwood Pete's sleeves hanging off of his hands and his pants rolled all the way up.
This is bullshit.
Do you want me to pretend like you're my baby?
I could just roll them up. It would be fine. I could roll them up, and I don't know why I did not, but it is like I am the harbor
Comic
seal.
relief. The word you're looking for is comic relief.
I don't find comedy relieving at all. I find it stressful.
I'm
Right,
just
that's
saying,
the point.
But Jerry
Pete-
Lewis. He's good.
Peter, I've seen great bravery in you, and you are better than comic sidekick.
You're damn right I am. Let's go.
You enter the perfectly laid out detention building. A couple of uniformed men are inside. They're not wearing the outfits that you're in, the soldiers' outfits. They're more in the gray, drab company outfits. There are 4 set up little wonderful cells, identical in shape, with perfect little beds folded in them. Only one of the cells is occupied. There's 2 men in that cell. They have a strong family resemblance between the 2 of them.
So they're sisters.
Sisters?
Look, I know I would know this, but how much clout does General Custer have in this sort of place? Pretty a lot, yeah? Like
Can do pretty much whatever he wants for the most part.
Oui, beaucoup. Okay, all right. Let's strut our clout then, and order those 2 men released. Those 2 sisters.
Sisters?
I'm never not going to laugh. I can't.
Identical cousins, and you'll find.
Right. No. Here's the thing. If we just take them out, it's not like big tall tale, right? Like we gotta bust them out, like big. We're just gathering information right now, right?
I was on board with busting people out and giving them cars. I thought it was a very Oprah moment. Everybody gets a car. It's very, very fun.
Right. No, I'm on board for it. But like us just walking up and being like, "Yo, give us the prisoners." That's not very tall tale, very extravagant, very
We
cool.
are sneaking into see situation first.
Right.
This
right.
is what I was told. This is not my plan.
Whose plan is this?
Perhaps it was my plan, but I remember nothing of it.
I don't know, but Joe, I have an odd urge to climb on your shoulders. May I?
Of course you may. Peter, you do not need to ask. We are friends. If you need a shoulder to cry on or climb on, I am always here for you.
All right.
Always.
Well, maybe I will wait, but during the escape, I definitely want to ride you out.
No problem, man. That's what bros do. And we
Yes.
are bros.
So James, is there like a guard at the front?
No,
like
there's
a
just the
desk?
2. Yeah, there's the 2 uniformed, gray, drab uniformed men. One of them is looking at some kind of paperwork. The other one is neatly and organizing everything and dusting and wiping things down, cleaning everything meticulously.
Right, gentlemen.
Wait.
Yes?
Yes.
Not you, them.
Oh. Pardon.
Oh. All right, I'm going to work. I'm going to be using my American accent so they will think that I am one of them.
I
It is
too am going to
genius.
be using my American accent.
This is ingenious part of my own plan.
Man, I just love when I'm the only woman on a team. Yeah.
Fantastic.
All right.
Can I help you?
You're
Right.
saying
Now, we're gonna have to question these 2 prisoners, and that needs to be done just under the ears of Mr. Custer's men. So I'm gonna need you to step outside, please.
I thought you were transporting these men. That's what you just
Yes,
told
we
us.
can-
I'm sorry. Are you aware of the orders that I have been given by Custer himself? Are
These
you
are the orders
ready
you
to
just
go?
gave. I'm. Wait.
ham.
That is right. Do not make me go ham on you. My colleague is correct. Now listen, you don't
We
understand. And
Are
you don't
all
know.
correct.
Okay. Oh, okay. We'll go outside. Then come on, let's go outside.
Beer!
That's a good one.
Soldiers are so weird.
Good news, everyone. We have them completely fooled.
They had no idea whatsoever.
And they gave away the plan. We know now that we are supposed to take these prisoners away to transport them, but we will not transport them to where we are supposed to transport them. Instead, we will take them somewhere else.
John Henry, I would like to commend you on your actions in that last moment. I thought you did very well.
Why is he getting all of the
Potato salad!
We did a very good job, I think. C'est bon, très bon.
Mr. Henry.
Let's see who is in the cells then. We have now...
Pete?
Yes. Why are we are alone? They have gone.
You do have a notoriously booming voice. This is well known in all of the stories, Peter.
It is because I am so manly and amazing and very tall for my height.
You built like a whiskey barrel.
I think it's about time to question these two.
I was thinking the same thing, Mr. Henry. Do you have any suggestions on the line of questioning we should start with? Also, we probably should keep it pretty quick, boys. I don't know how much time we have.
Why don't we just take them with us for the transport like we are supposed to do? We talk to them on the way while we are riding down the road and they're eating all of our dusts.
But what if they are real criminals? What if they are like tax evaders or the Koch brothers?
Being a tax evader isn't being a criminal.
Then if we cannot reform them, we leave them.
Okay.
So I go over to the cell in which they are currently contained, and I say, "Pardon me, ladies, I couldn't help but notice you've been incarcerated, and wondering if you would let us know if the nature of your transgressions have been, how do we say, the dire sort, or maybe just something that is easily swept under the rug. We wouldn't want to be transporting real notorious criminals with us while we make our daring escape."
Oh, you don't know who we are?
Oh,
You captured us and you're transporting us to Andersonville, and you don't know who we are?
Well, that was another shift. They handed off their orders to us, so I and my colleagues are not fully aware of what it is that you have been detained for.
Inventing.
Oh, I love inventing.
No, we are clearly men of custard. American men of custard.
My brother Orville and I, we invent things.
Oh, you're the Wright brothers.
Popcorn!
Yeah, the Redbugger. These men make delicious popcorn.
It's fantastic. It's a wonderful.
It's quite an honor to meet you, sir.
Light. You can put butter on it. You can not put butter on it. However you like. It's fantastic.
Indeed. What do they call popcorn up in Canada there, Joe? Peter?
Oh, in Canada, we don't have popcorn. If it does not grow on a bush or taken from a beaver, it's nothing.
You
All
see
food
that,
in Canada is beaver-based or you take from trees.
Wait, so everything in Canada is either beaver or bush-based, according to your own words, just
When
now.
you are 4 foot, yes, at my height, that is true.
Everything is beaver or bush-based.
I'm gonna need a second.
Yes.
Cordwood, Peter.
No, hold on. Is it beaver, bush, or Olsen? Yes.
And then sometimes they put,
But Olsen
the
also has a nice head, so.
Beaver or bush-based?
You keep saying it.
I can't help it. I did not say it first. I am merely repeating what Cordwood Peter Bunyan has just told me about Canadians that I did not know before, having spent far too much time in Pittsburgh.
He's,
You gotta understand, Mr. Magarak has never been to Canada, so he's, just learning new things.
It's true. I'm learning so much about the world. Like, wow, was I born in the wrong country?
Our flag also a leaf.
I was never married. Had I been Canadian, I could have been polygamist, apparently, because that's just their base form of commerce there.
No, that was.
Oh yeah, they sell beaver pelts.
Now, back in Salt Lake.
God save the queen.
They like a nice hairy pelt up there, don't they? Oh wait.
We.
This
Canadians
is gone
love a
past
hairy
the point of innuendo. This is not even.
No.
We're not even playing like this is something else. This is. Oh my goodness.
Oh yeah.
The problem with
they like
Canadian beaver is a very flat tail. Very flat tail.
Yes, they like a big, thick pelt, or they like tail up there as well.
We. You can also eat the moose knuckle. It's fine.
And it's at that point that you hear from behind you. I knew it! I knew that they were fake. We ain't got no Canadians in the army. And I'll take initiative from everyone.
Okay. Oh my god. If we don't get a flood of beavers, I'm gonna be pissed.
And
21.
bushes. And bushes.
Beavers.
Just flooded in beaver bush.
Just huge beavers in giant bushes.
I can't. Right, what's the initiative? Oh god, oh there's a puppy. Oh hi.
GM James.
Yes.
So when you're right in the middle, whose initiative bonus do you take?
You get thick.
Sweet. My initiative
There
sucks.
are advantages to being right in the middle.
Yes, it is actually not the worst place to be.
Oh. I am wrong. I apologize.
I have a 12
I have
for
17. Not 21.
17.
Yeah, and I got. Ooh, I actually rolled well, so I got 17.
Ah,
17.
that's
Because I
good.
rolled 17.
I only have-
need one from Rosie and one from John of both persuasions.
16.
Okay. Rosie?
Oh, I got a 12.
12. Okay.
Wow, we all sucked on that one.
Yeah. I think I was laughing so hard that the dog came over to comfort me because he thought something was wrong.
That is quite possible. I, for once, am actually going to completely win that initiative roll, and the soldiers at the door are going to act first. I'm going to have the first two are going to rush in using their sabers and try to cut you down. We're going to target the obvious Canadian is getting attacked first, as well as
Who's
Joe.
running
who,
my mouth at the beaver? I am sorry.
because the two of you seem to come off as the least American soldier in your accents.
Yeah, that's fair.
Canada is in America. There's
And you
North
did say that the
America,
soldiers
South-
rush in, so I just assumed you were attacking me.
Oh, buddy.
Not your buddy, pal.
All right, that was wonderfully said, Joe. I'm going to beat my fighting check by 6 on you, so I think
Yeah.
I'm
You only
close.
have to beat it by 0 to hit Joe Mezurek. He is
All
not
right.
a dodger, he is a fighter.
So that's a 30 damage hit on Joe,
Okay.
and at that point, 2 more enter the building from the commotion, and they're going to fire their pistols at Rosie and John Henry. And we're going to have a success by 2 against John Henry. Is that going to beat your dodge there, John Henry / John Stone? You could use either dodge because you're in the middle.
I have a dot. My dot is +2. That's added
All
to what?
right. So I'm still going to be able to land a hit, and that is going to be a 30 damage hit on yourself, sir.
Oh, unfortunately, I have my extra armor and my boost, so I'm good.
All right, and I've got both Pete and Joe have a 17 for going next.
How many did you say that there were?
4 started combat this round. There are quite a few more outside of the building. They'll be
All
joined
right.
next round.
As I now am apparently a Western-style hero, I march up to one of them, draw 2 pistols, and hit him with them.
Fighting check, please, Pete.
No, I will require 2 because I'm hitting 2 soldiers.
All right, fighting check from Joe against soldiers using pistols as clubs.
Yes. I did not use them as whips, although it seems that you would, given name. You feel me?
I am aware of what you are laying down, yes.
First fighting check, he wins by 5.
That's going to hit.
Second one by 8.
That is also going to hit. They are completely unprepared for the pistols being swung as some form of club or bludgeoning instrument. They, in fact, seem to be more waiting for you to point the pistols at them and try to shoot them. So you are able to strike both right between the eyes and the forehead and drop 2 of them to the ground in their tracks, caught completely off guard.
Once again, Sam Colt has made all men equal.
That is a mighty good fine shooting there, Mr. Magarat.
Thank you very much. I am now very Western-style gunslinger.
Pete, you're up.
Okay, well, I think I'm going to swing my axe at maybe the whichever one is shooting at our fair John. And so, going to go ahead and take this person out with a large logging axe. Maybe not so good for this person. It's fine.
A fighting check from Pete. Oh.
Okay, I beat my fighting check by 5.
Beat your fighting check by 5. You swing that axe like he's a tree. Unfortunately, the flesh of the human body does not have the resistance that tree bark and the wood that a tree is made from. It doesn't hold up.
No,
And
not so.
swinging with the force of that axe, the blade slices in pretty deep and then continues to push your target farther away from you, where he flies clean of the axe blade and into the wall, leaving a bloody mess in his wake. All right, I'll take John next to 16.
How many adversaries are there?
There is 1 in the building, and if your numbers are correct from coming in on the way out, well, there are 12 outside of the building that will probably be joining in.
Oh. All right. So this one guy, that's fairly easy. Hey, so since I'm in the middle, do I have Johnstone strength, or do I have?
You get to pick. You're in the middle.
What?
Yeah.
Yep.
Either or. That's the advantages of being in the middle. You get to pick whichever side you want, whichever skills you want, whichever
this is too
abilities
easy.
you want.
I mean, the dice are bigger, but you get to do more stuff.
That is the trade-off.
Okay. I just go over to this last remaining guy, grab him by the collar, and headbutt him.
All right, give me a fighting check.
Because it's a very Western thing to do.
It is pretty Western, especially if you're not having a saloon brawl and you can't use any of the traditional saloon accoutrement.
Yeah, I kind of feel bad hitting him with my hammer. That's like, wow, really? All right.
Did you see what I just did?
I know.
Yeah, but you have that little man complex.
It's a very. It's
We
a
expect
very,
you to attack everyone and thing with axe.
Oh yes. When your only tool is an axe, it's a tree.
What was that fighting check there, John?
Beat it by 5.
Beat it by 5. You cross the room, grab hold of the collar of this soldier, and slam your forehead into his, and he collapses in your arms, completely unconscious.
Oh. Oh.
Ah,
Rosie, you're up. There's a dozen of these folks outside. They are probably not friendly.
Do we have line of sight on them?
Not quite, but you could quite easily.
And
You just have to step out the door.
have we completely taken care of the 4 in front of us?
Yes, one of them is unconscious. Excuse me, 3 are unconscious, and 1 is very dead.
Excellent. So in that case, I'm going to use my sorcery. I don't have a poker face, as Christian knows. I would like to peek my head out the door, and I get 2 attacks as Rosie, so the first 2 I see, I'm just going to turn into beavers.
I'm getting hungry already. Very hungry.
Sorcery checks.
You got it. All right. Oh, that's my sorcery number. Okay.
Mr. Peter, I was wondering, when you eat beaver, do you put syrup on it since you come
What
from
kind
Canada?
of question is that? I'm Canadian. I put syrup on everything. Everything.
Okay, I beat my first sorcery check by 7.
Poof! One of those soldiers is a beaver. It doesn't change the costume, so now it's a beaver.
And I got it
Turn
right
into a
on
beaver.
for my
I go
second
home.
one.
And the second one as well. There are now 2 perfectly blue uniformed.
So now there are 2 private beavers.
Yes, there are 2 private beavers.
I don't know about you, but I love a beaver in uniform.
And we're going to go to the top of the round. I'm going to go ahead, and because it seems like a very appropriate moment, I am executing the hack attack. And the dam of the river has now ruptured, flooding the streets of St. Louis. Unfortunately, it ruptured because there was, an influx of beavers.
The beavers, their instinct is going to be to repair the damage. We are
They're going to stop fighting us. We need to team up and use the
Unfortunately, these beavers built their own very large dam, which blocked up the river too much. And then when it finally broke free of the beaver dam, it was too much water for the human-made dam, which then floods the entirety of St. Louis in about 3 feet of water. And worse, a bunch of angry beavers.
We are about to drown in wet beavers, my friends.
We're drowning.
We're drowned in wet beavers. Let us. First of all,
So many beavers.
Which is going to cause some chaos among the soldiers outside, but 2 of them who are closest to the door are still going to attempt to attack you, Rosie.
I wouldn't attack the woman who just turned people into beavers, but I mean,
That is precisely why they're attacking you.
well, they're dumb.
I have success by 3 on the fighting check of one of them.
Success by 3, my dodge is 6.
That is not going to hit you. Between the water and the nearby angry beavers, it is simply too much of a strain on the soldiers outside.
Oh my god.
And don't forget these beavers have sharp teeth.
You get these split.
Yeah, but the beavers are going to want to put the dam back together.
So let's go to Joe at a 17 next as the town of St. Louis begins to flood, both with water and angry beavers.
Now, I'm not looking at my sheet for this, but I would guess that Joe is not much of a swimmer.
Joe is not much of a swimmer. He, in fact, sinks.
Yeah, what with the being made of steel and all.
Yeah.
But it's only 3 feet of water.
Yeah, I'm going to spend some...
You can drown in a teaspoon.
I'm spending some meta points.
All right, there are 5 in the store.
I'll spend 3, because that's going to be getting me close without putting me all the way over.
All right, that will put you 1 away.
Oh, wait, I don't need to not be all the way over. I want to save some, though. So, yeah, 3.
Spending 3. All right, you're going to be 1 away from crash now, and 3 meta points have been spent.
All right.
A flood of beavers.
Yeah, so I'm just going to get to the top of the water, maybe stand on a couple of beavers, and start shooting anybody who's left.
Beaver shoes.
All right.
So it'll technically be, how many guys are left?
There are 10 of them outside. Excuse me, 8.
Okay.
Sorry. 8.
There's 8 of them
Maybe.
outside. All right.
Soldiers love beavers. Just give them some beavers.
Yeah, I'm going using my power usage to go beaver surfing. I can make a balance check or athletics if you need me to as well.
You also have boating.
And then we're splitting my second attack into 2 attacks so I can still take 2 shots.
All right, give me a athletics check for beaver surfing.
Unless boating would work.
Yeah, I think
Boating
so.
would
I
also
think.
apply.
I'm going to use athletics. I'm better at it.
Okay.
Oh, so
I know.
excited.
I know.
You're boating with beavers.
Yeah. Beaver boating would definitely apply.
Beaver boating.
5. I killed my athletics check.
It is the best beaver surfing that anyone has ever seen.
I do not agree with that.
And yeah, I'll pop off a couple of shots at soldiers.
Oh.
And you know, I'm not even going to use the guns. I'm just going to point at them and go bang bang. Because that's fun.
Oh.
Maggie, I didn't realize you loved beaver so much.
I know. Neither did.
Who doesn't love beavers?
With the minus, beat it by 6.
Oh,
And second one, beat by with minus 8.
all right. So there are now only 6 of the soldiers remaining as we go to Pete. Now, Pete, this flood is a little bit worse for you, being of your short stature. It's not just like. Unfortunately, you are chest deep in the water with angry beavers.
It is okay. I know how to handle a beaver, even when it is angry. That is
Is this
fine.
technically, is this bush related? Because it seems like it's the other one.
Linton? Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. Am I in any range of, I guess, more crashed now than Joe? Can I see him from where I am? Can I
absolutely.
Okay, buddy. You're going to get me out of the water. So I'm going to jump on your shoulders with an athletics check, and then I'm going to... Go ahead.
Yes.
And he is floating on beavers currently, yes?
He is surfing on beavers, yes.
Very good. This is perfect, because next what I'm going to do is I'm going to very much use my round and round ability, where I spin like a crazy person and chop down other people. It's going to be fantastic. So I just angle my axe down a little bit so we get the cone of death going. And all right, so probably need the next...
Can you tell me what that ability does?
Round and round. He can begin spinning while wielding an axe. This is so great for you. Or similar weapon, doubling its attack and reducing multi-action penalties by 1. However, once he starts, he cannot stop until he hits an object solid enough to prevent further spinning.
Oh.
I kind of really want to...
And he's riding on my shoulders, correct?
Oh,
Yes. You see now of a spinning Pete.
May I activate Hacksaw?
Yes.
Can you kick with the beavers?
So you have a spinning Pete top on a beaver surfing Joe.
Beavernado.
It's a beaver NATO.
Beavernado.
I can electrify it if you
The
want.
busiest natural disaster of all.
Would not want that?
Yes,
Who would
Sean,
not
yes.
want an electric beaver tornado? Who would not want that?
Well, I'm just
Wait.
I'm just gonna use Hacksaw to let it attack everybody.
Okay.
Right.
I thought that would be cool.
It
So
is
what do
cool
I need to
and
roll?
Lightning.
Yeah, you roll.
Yep,
I
you
need
still
to-
You have
roll.
to roll, but once you
What
hit
do,
one of them,
what do you want me to roll?
You will still roll a fighting check. It's just going to be against everyone.
Okay. One.
I think
Beat my
electricity
fighting
is
check.
fun.
Okay, so I've got to do it one at a time. Okay, so I've beat it by 5.
All right, it's only one attack that targets everyone. So
Oh, okay. Well, I beat it by 5.
that's going to be good enough. You're going to beat it by 5 against all of them. So Pete begins spinning while topping Joe, who's riding angry beavers in a flood.
It's all like that. It's not enough room in here.
that's not
Yes.
even weird.
It's totally
And
normal.
on top of that, it seems as though John Stone threw a little electricity into the equation as well. So it's an electric spinning Pete top on Joe.
Yes. Yes, Sean. Yes.
Angry beavers.
I was waiting for someone to bring up Tony because I thought I could get a bonus if I called him.
Oh, I'm gonna tag him in a Facebook post real fast.
And once he gets going, it is in fact very difficult to stop. You kind of have to maneuver the spinning Pete over against a few different walls.
Yeah, if he's going to become a force of nature at any point, and it looks like he might run into the town, I will get out from under him and make him hit me.
The water will probably be enough. It's very
Yeah,
draggy.
in fact, once you drop him in the water, due to his short stature, it's enough to slow him down very, very rapidly.
But now there's a giant whirlpool in the middle of the...
There is, in fact, a whirlpool now in the middle of the street in St. Louis.
Beavers.
It's just pulling in all of the angry beavers.
Stuff will eventually turn into a water spout, and then it'll be raining beavers all over town.
See, you brought Canada here.
If there's a hell, we are all going to.
I'm waiting for it to start raining bushes.
Well, see, that's the thing, is those begin drifting through town now amongst the angry beavers because bushes are what they used to make their dam that broke loose. So now there's floating bushes amongst the angry beavers.
Oh no, I hope they don't get hydrated or injured.
All the way being pulled into the whirlpool created by Cordwood Pete.
Sorry.
Well, it seems like that was a little lower key than usual, but we'll step it up for the next fight, everyone.
Sounds good.
This is a good legend.
And you have liberated Orville and Wilbur Wright, and with that, we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to be right back with more Masters of the Metaverse, guys. See you in just a few minutes.
Jesus.
Need to go in minutes, guys.
All right, see you in a bit.
It's raining outside.
I don't see sunny or rainy. They're all just days to me.
Okay, but clearly it's raining.
Is it? I mean, yes, obviously it is, but just to play devil's advocate for a moment, is it really?
Yes, it is. Look outside.
So you want it to be sunny all the time. Is that what you want? You want constant sunshine. Have you ever heard of a drought?
No, that's not what I'm saying at all. I'm just saying that it's raining.
Look, don't be such a hater. All days matter.
Dude, just look outside.
My cousin was caught in a snowstorm last year. Where was the outrage then?
I'm just pointing out.
It rains so much more in India. You have to deal with so much less weather in this part of the world. But I don't know why you're complaining. True, it was raining, but it's completely stopped now. Ancient history. Get over yourself. I studied meteorology in high school, and the term is actually precipitation. The climate changes are clearly part of a natural cycle that has nothing to do with us. So, rain should be underrepresented. Maybe rain just writes better science fiction. This kind of negativity just propagates the conservative agenda. People who wear raincoats anyway, right? F you. You ignorant dude. Did you back and your or were you just that way? I hope you get rained on. That'll teach you a lesson. To push this dry-hating cumulonimbus bull.
I think we've had a little misunderstanding. Maybe we should go outside, take a walk. You can get some fresh air.
In the rain?
we get the final insert here, and
All
then
right.
we break for second move.
All right. Warm pocket cheese. I'm in. All right.
Okay, so are you familiar with how to fondle a nipple?
Nick?
Yes.
Nick, I'm gonna shoot Christian's face. Shooting Christian's face.
Oh, come on.
No, you're gone.
All right. So apparently
We're
this
gonna
is
make a
just
movie.
like handling a nipple.
Okay.
So
More
pinch really
asn't
hard.
than isn't.
I'm going to pinch the
Okay.
nipple.
I'll pull focus now.
Work.
I need the back of your head, sir, and the front of yours.
It works at night.
Do you know?
No,
It's usually Ben that does.
Okay,
this stuff.
okay. The sound of silence, because he's off camera and not talking, and Armageddon on that. Come on.
still a double.
Whatever. Yes, I can do this. Just, no, you have to help.
Oh, what do I
Just
need
take
to do?
this here, and then
We'll
we're.
start on Leo's face before we go down. Get out.
Wow. Really? Huh. We gonna make a movie?
How does this work?
I don't know.
This is awesome.
I'm usually over there.
Okay. What happens if I twist this?
Hey, want to tune my mandolin?
Oh, come
on! Come on!
What is wrong with you?
Jeez, his words.
Sure.
What? What are you doing here?
Red card.
That is too big.
Ben's mom. Come on.
What?
Ben's mom is off limits.
What I've heard.
Oh, get out. Out. Hey. What? Oh, really? Wait. Why am I even in here? You're filling in for Andy. Okay. I don't even have to go. I just. Wait. Here you go. Are you serious? Seriously? Okay.
Welcome back to more Masters of the Metaverse on the Zombie Orpheus Entertainment channel here on Twitch. If you're just joining us, you really missed out on the flood of bushes, angry beavers, the cordwood peat whirlpool, and so much more. But let's get back to it. So we have the Wright brothers now freed from their prison, the soldiers dealt with, and no one is going to be able to stop you in the town of St. Louis due to the fact that they're dealing with hordes of angry beavers and a flood.
I just imagine the cartoon is what they're dealing with, just like those three guys over and over and over again. It's cool. I was a kid once.
Still are. Of course, now the question is, what to do next? You're muted there.
Well,
I
Clemens
realize
is
now that my voice is very small because I'm so excited. So we should write a song to commemorate all of this for posterity and for our legends. We should call it "I Left My Wet Beaver in St. Louis." And the melody, I don't know. I'm not very good at music.
We'll figure it out.
I'm sure.
Well, Clemens clearly isn't here, so I think we need to keep tracking down Clemens.
Clemens, they brought him here, but they took him straight to the airship and flew him towards Andersonville. Edison wanted him there immediately. They got a telegraph.
Well, I guess we're going to Andersonville.
There's no way into that prison. It's too heavily guarded.
How long will it take for them to get there from here? In the airship?
They'll be there long before we can get there in an airship. We don't have access to one of those. My brother and I
I'm
were
pretty
working
sure
on
we
something.
can get there.
My brother and I were working on something, but we don't know if it'll work or not.
Well,
Do you need help?
Do you have the plans?
Well, we got it mostly finished before they came and took us.
Where is it?
Well, it's not too far from here. We were gonna use it to try and get into Andersonville and get people out.
Well, I'm pretty sure.
Pretty good at building and fabricating.
They got so many defenses and guardians there at Andersonville. You can't just even take an airship in or walk in. You'll get shot or blown up or killed. But
Now, I understand that you are hesitant because of all of that. However, did you miss me turning a grown man into a beaver?
I don't think that's something I'll ever forget. And
right. So
I was going to actively try to forget that until the end of my days.
I want to lay out facts real quick. So to clarify, they are on their way to a prison that is impenetrable with a person who cannot die in a ship made out of hydrogen. Just putting that out there.
I understand what you're trying to say. I just don't think we can catch them. And even if we could, I'm not sure that wouldn't solve the problem. There's still a lot of people in Andersonville.
So we got to free Andersonville.
They broke that.
Which, again, you have the John Henry. I mean, like, I am pretty sure that we are going to be able. I mean, I can turn people into beavers. I mean, like, we got this.
Yeah, like I said, I'm going to spend the rest of my days trying to forget that. Well, like I said, we built these things. We don't know if they'll work, but they're small enough and light enough. And if you waited till it was dark and they couldn't see you fly over the walls, you might be able to get in without getting killed. But after that, I'm not really so sure. I mean, this is what stopped my brother and I all our times is once we got into the prison, we wouldn't really know what to do to get people out without just getting them killed in the prison.
Mr.
You've got the beginning of an excellent plan.
Mr. Wright, you have to realize that because of my cohorts and I, this town is now covered in hairy, sopping wet beavers. So you have to understand that we tend to be able to make unusual things happen.
There's also summer. They're getting sweltering, the beavers. Very moist and humid.
It's like a Tom Jones concert in this town.
Speaking of which, you mentioned Pierre that you do put honey syrup on them. How do you eat the beavers when they're sticky like that?
You just carefully move the hair outside and you just eat them. It's very tasty. It's very delicious. It's exactly how you would expect.
Interesting.
Yes. You don't eat the beaver too fast. You never eat the beaver too fast. It will not be satisfying if you eat the beaver too fast. You get too full. You go away. It's terrible. But yeah, you eat the beaver slowly and very carefully, and the delicacy is very fantastic.
Okay, so perhaps we should consider what our next plan is going to be and stop dwelling on the many beavers of our past.
Okay, I will just not. I won't ruminate on the beaver anymore. I still want to blow up a limp. I'm not going to lie. I would rather maybe do that than anything else in the world. But okay, let's do whatever we're going to do.
Let's find the right flying machines and see what we can do with those.
I'm sure that between the four of us, we can we can help them finish their projects, maybe enhance it a little bit as well.
All right, you head out of St. Louis, either knee deep or chest deep in the water and angry beavers, depending upon who you are in the group. The occasional bush floats by as well.
It's weird.
It
In the
is-
70s, there weren't as many bushes in this town. I tell you that.
It is messy. I am most certainly going to say, very wet, very messy. But in the end, I think St. Louis will be okay.
So, how far along is their flying machine?
You reach their flying machine, and it's kind of terrifying to look at for you, Rosie. I mean, somebody thinks this is a flying machine. It's a set of wings attached to some kind of harness where there's pedals connected to a propeller.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's their flying machine.
All right, yeah. So, we have a moment of clarity still, yes?
You have 4 moments of clarity.
Excellent. I would like to use a moment of clarity to do some engineering on this.
And what exactly are you attempting to engineer there, Rosie?
Oh, I want to make it fly better and faster. Maybe not just like a wings with an engine, like more stable, secure.
Oh, I think you misunderstood me. It's not an engine, it's pedals connected to a propeller. It is a pedal-powered propeller.
Yeah, I think they need a steam engine is what they need.
That'll be loud.
And heavy.
Ooh, good point. Good point. It will be loud.
You have 2 very fine engines right here with the pedals already. You just probably need to reinforce them a little bit.
Yeah, so maybe we just take what they have and we enhance it.
Let's make an engineering check just to see if they'll fly.
All right.
Oh, I can do that. And I'm going to use my moment of clarity for it.
Okay.
Because I'm all the way rosy.
If you need a team up, I have engineering as well.
Yeah, I think everybody here does.
I beat it by 8.
Beat it by 8.
Well, go.
If you had a high enough elevation to start from, they would glide and you could propel yourself forward with them.
So, but getting off the ground is our current
Yeah, they're
problem,
not going to take off. I mean, not
Gotcha.
without kind of assistance. Though, if you, like, I don't know, had them on one of those horseless carriages and got it going fast enough, it might be enough speed to get some lift.
Right, okay, but also I'm like going to throw this out there, like, just between us guys. Like, I could just magic it, but I feel like that's cheating.
Yes, what we need here is spectacle. We could build catapult and launch everyone individually.
Indeed. How much does this contraption weigh?
Oh, it probably doesn't weigh more than 50 or 60 pounds. It's pretty light.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, then why don't just me and John Henry take turns throwing you while you ride them?
And then how would you get on the airplane up there? Sorry, not called an airplane yet, but you know what I'm saying. How would you get on it up there? You throw? The rope, a bungee?
They are single occupant.
Large sticky hand?
I have other methods of locomotion if needed.
I'm down for whatever, and I'll help in any way I can.
How many of these vehicles are there?
2.
Oh.
But being as they're so simple, now that you've made that engineering roll, Rosie, you think you could probably make these things in your sleep.
Great, well,
Here's
I'll get
an
to work.
idea.
Oh.
If we're looking for tall tales and spectacle, I have an idea. So, seeing as how I'm super strong and I never get tired, do you ever get tired, Joe Magarak?
It takes me a good long while.
Can you run?
I can right now.
And how many of these airships do we have?
There's 2 of them, but as Rosie just pointed out, or was pointed out to her, she could assemble them really rapidly. They are essentially a bicycle sprocket with pedals connected to a propeller and a set of wings.
Yeah, I can make one for each of us, no problem.
Well, I'm just saying, I mean, you could just attach a rope to one of them and to me, and just kite style, I could just run it up into the air and just keep running all the way to Andersonville. Get some lift as it
Is
like
there
run along the beach with a kite.
Is there a rail line between here and Andersonville?
Oh, absolutely. It just stops about 70 miles short, and then it's traveled by foot from there, or usually by carriage, or most popularly, airship, because it's very secure.
Well, let's get to building.
Going to build 2 more of them?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You want me to
All
roll for
right.
it?
Someone
Yeah.
give me some engineering or metalworking. I'm open to any of your skills that you might find to be appropriate.
Rosie, I'll build one, you build one.
Sure, and I'll use another moment of clarity.
All right. Moment of clarity used.
I just roll twice and take the best.
So I'm going to use my engineering. So I beat that by 13.
Oh, wow. Yours is actually slightly better than the ones designed by the Wright brothers.
I beat 1 by 9 and 1 by 10. So the 1 by 10 is the one I'm keeping.
And in
I'm going to
fact,
paint a
Joe's
beaver on
is
the
almost
side.
as good as yours as well. I mean, just like slight differences between the two, but both of you made improvements over the Wright brother design.
Doggone it, you drew me into this. Now I can't help it. Since I have competitive, which means I hate to be outdone, in any opposed skills test, John rolls twice and takes the best result. So I have to try to make one just because they made one better than them and then better than each other, and so I'm compelled to at least try to make one myself.
Indeed, you are. But mine has a beaver painted on the side.
Ah,
Mine is made completely of beaver.
It's called the de Havilland for other reasons.
Mine looks like it's going to university in the 1930s.
So the first one beat by 3.
Mm-hmm.
Oops, wait.
You see, because de Havilland made the beaver.
Okay, beat by 3.
Beat it by 3. You are able to build one, despite having never built a flying machine before, but it is not the match of Rosie's or Joe's, unfortunately.
Right, but for never having built one before, like, damn.
Literally, having known...
to gather food for our trip? Yes.
You
You're
literally
able to gather up
just
some
made the
beaver.
5th plane ever.
That's true.
That's pretty impressive, man.
Right, so do we want to do the John Henry runs forever technique? Do we want to put it on the back of my vehicle and I just drive real fast and shoot you into the air? How do we want to go about it?
I want to go do Pete and you giant paper airplane style. You know, just like run really fast and then toss you.
I agree with this. This sounds
I'm
very
in.
fun.
That will get 2 of you in the air.
And then we take,
How do we steer these things, by the way?
lead.
There's little handles. There's little handles so you can lean.
Okay,
into
because
the
I
lanes.
am a French legend, or a French Canadian legend. That's my skills are. I live in the woods. So
Could Pete not be?
And he has a +2 on writing jingles for television.
This is
Could-
true.
Could Pete not be in the same plane?
Beaver?
I know.
They're
Well,
single occupants.
They're single
Right, but
occupants,
he-
Very small.
but
He's very small.
With
But
you
you-
having succeeded by 13, you could have perhaps built yours to, in fact, be a 2-person one
I think we
designed
can both-
specifically
I think
for
we can
yourself
both
and
get
Pete.
the same beaver at the same time.
I think
I-
I did. I think
You
me
can
and
switch.
Pete.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so
Piloting action.
the 2 of you will be in one. And how are Joe and John Henry going to enter the sky?
I'm gonna like get down in launch position and put my feet on the ground, and I look over at John Henry and say, "I bet I get in the air before you do," and then I take off running.
That's going to be
Yeah,
athletics
that'll do it.
test, boys.
Yeah, that'll do it.
But John Henry gets to roll twice now.
This is correct.
Well done.
Oh,
Oh my god, those
Now
were
use
airplane
my-
sounds.
my
I
John
got really
Stone
scared for a
abilities.
second.
That will help out a lot.
I love this. It is like being very tall and very fast.
Beat it by on my second roll because my first roll sucked. My first roll I got 22. My second roll I got a 7, which means I beat it by 11 according to John Stone's athletics score.
Yeah.
You got 11. And what about you, Joe?
By my athletics check,
Yes.
I beat also by 11.
Oh. The two of you take off and are running just neck and neck. And both of you, just on the same step, get lift at the exact same time.
Just flapping our arms wildly, whether or not we need to.
Nope. Doesn't matter, you're still doing it. You flap your arms wildly, you catch just enough lift, and then beginning pedaling like mad people, moving the propeller. And the first plane manned flight in North America takes place.
On Beaver Airlines.
Thanks to the Wright brothers. And as the story will go.
Flying
And the
Beaver
few
Airlines.
legends of the American West.
I do have
And
someone
so
who's
the
documenting
Flying
this.
Beavers
Seems important.
head east.
Beaver Squad.
Yes, Beaver Squad, with the twin occupant Beaver plane at the lead. It is still quite a distance to the East Coast, but we will skip ahead quite a bit for the boringness of travel to get.
We're not gonna do a flying montage.
All right, Pete. I spy with my little eye.
Be there. It is all around us.
Something brown. Is it Iowa? It is. Oh shit.
Which Dakotas? It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
We all try to remember the theme song from Tailspin, but none of us can remember it.
Yes.
That is wonderful. Flying Beaver.
DuckTales comes right to mind. Tailspin, no.
Oh yeah.
It's because Tailspin's mostly instrumental with like those
All
like
the trouble
the
we
rip-
get in with another tailspin.
Another Tailspin.
Thank you. All right, there we go.
Get Cloud Kicker.
Spin, let's begin it when you're ready. You can win it
Yeah,
in
you're
a
doing
minute. Spin it, spin it.
All right. I've had about enough with that.
Pretty good. I like it a lot.
All right, so we arrive.
You reach the outskirts of the area that is makes up Andersonville. They have flattened the landscape for miles around the prison, in addition to falling every tree, giving them a perfect view of the entire landscape. Someone would be seen for miles away approaching on foot. Being as you are arriving in the dead of night and in the air.
And yeah, and if anybody's even looking, we just look like common flying beavers from a distance.
Oh, the beavers are migrating
flew in
again.
In the dead of night. The great beaver army.
It must be spring.
The great beaver migration.
All the beavers are out for
Canadians are
spring
coming.
break.
The Canadians are coming.
So as wind blows the beavers in the night.
Are there any Canadians in chat? By the way, I'm wondering. Just wondering. Make yourself known if you are a Canadian in chat.
However,
Say
once
hey.
you reach the prison itself and its high stone walls, which it's a massive compound. It's surrounded by a huge wall. There are towers all along the wall. The ground that's flattened outside is heavily patrolled by steam-powered golems. You don't see a single human person as you approach the prison. It comes to you that you have no idea how to land these flying contraptions. The Wright brothers never mentioned landing, and judging by their designs, they didn't actually consider landing at any point as part of the process of flying.
Well,
All
but
right.
we built ours better than theirs, right?
And passing over the wall of the prison, there's two large buildings in the compound. The central building has a landing pad on the roof where there is currently an airship docked.
All right. So the airship is a large dirigible, correct?
Yes.
All right. I am going to let go of my vehicle, and I'm going to land on the very obviously cushioned dirigible bag that will break my fall and keep me from dying.
Oh wait, will it though? Because you weigh how much?
I don't know, like 500-600 pounds of solid steel.
I do seem to remember they are called rigid
Yeah,
airships, but you have fun, buddy. We put this beaver down nice and soft, please. I'm not a very
Yes,
good.
you guys work on putting your beavers down very softly. I'm going to pound mine into the center of that huge bag.
Oh my god. Pete. Yeah, no, I'm gonna do the slow circle. You know, where we like slightly point it down and we just go in big circles and slowly get closer and closer.
Yeah.
Cannonball!
You know, hey! Don't slam that beaver.
Oh.
Put it down gently. Be gentle with
I
it.
would like to make an athletics roll to attempt to aim myself.
I will take the athletics roll to attempt to aim yourself.
And be gentle with that beaver. It's your first time doing this.
No. My beaver is just flapping in the wind now, unmanned.
As most of those in your past.
Maggie, are you okay? Maggie? Maggie, are
No.
you all right? You all right, Maggie? Maggie?
Stop
Maggie?
it.
Need you to get back in the game now. I'm going to have to stop counting. Maggie?
So you're saying
One.
your beaver pelt plane is now flapping as the beaver pelts have come loose, which we have not cured, so they are still bloody underneath. So you've earned your red wings.
Okay now. Okay now.
Okay.
It's come loose?
I've beat my athletics check by 13.
Your aim is perfect. However, the rigid airship is not
The
so
soft,
cushioned.
bouncy balloon thing, you mean?
Yeah, it's not so soft and bouncy. And you impact with one of the ends of it, dent in a portion substantially. It ruptures part of the gas bag located on that part of the airship. And then you promptly slide, roll off, bounce a few times, get caught up in the rigging, tangles around your legs, and stops your fall just short of landing on the stone roof of the building. Tied up in the rigging by your legs, hanging upside down, staring face to face with more of Custer's men.
And there's a Russian, of course. Now it's
I
time
light
for
a cigarette. I roll up the cigarette.
Meanwhile, skipping over to Rosie and Cordwood Pete, you put it into a slow spin. And how exactly are you attempting to land? Are you going to land on that upper floor as well, on the landing pad area? Is that what you're going for?
I'd like to be as close to my compatriots as possible, but we are landing safely. It's the only safe land against Jones.
Go ahead and give me that piloting check to try and put the beaver
balloon
down.
is a lie! It's not a balloon at all!
Oh, piloting, but I'm all the way rosy right now.
Yep, there's still 2 moments of clarity in the score.
There are. Gosh, you know what? I'm so sorry. I have to use one. This will be the third one I've used. I'm using the other moment of clarity. I don't want to
As
kill
your passenger, please use your moment of clarity.
Yes, so I got 9. So I beat it by piloting. Oh, hold on, that's the wrong sheet. Oh God bless it. So sorry. Oh, I beat it by 1. Oh, I'm so glad I used the clarity.
It is very close. You almost wreck your beaver in the landing.
But I did not wreck my beaver. Thank you very much. It is intact and beautiful.
Yes. Indeed.
You bounce the beaver a few times and slide the beaver to a stop.
My internet has
You
hung
Wilhelm
up.
scream?
And the two of you slide across the landing pad by the airship, and you kind of stop about 30 feet away or so from where a bunch of armed guards are staring at Joe, who is hanging upside down in the rigging, smoking a cigarette. Now, John Henry / John Stone, how did you attempt to land this flying beaver?
Well, I'm determined to do it better than them. I'm for sure I'm going to do a better job than those two. Because I know one thing I do know, that the best way to control a flying beaver is to control the flaps. You gotta make sure that the flaps, aren't.
Aren't what?
What is he doing with his?
Aren't what, Sean? You have to make sure the flaps aren't what?
Oh, because you have like rudder, ailerons, flaps on a flying machine. I assume we have flaps on this one.
Yes, the beaver has flaps.
Okay, good. So I know that much. And being competitive I am, I got my competitive streak going, and which means I get to roll twice to outdo them. So here we go.
So piloting or
John Stone's piloting skill, yeah.
Yes, John Stone actually does know how to fly.
Ooh,
he's a
good thing I have 2
cyborg.
rolls because I only beat it by 1.
You managed to just barely safely land.
Actually, hold on a second. Since we only have just an hour left, I'm going to go ahead and burn one of my rolls here. Let's see, what do we have here? Because since they so graciously gave us all kinds of cool stuff, I'm gonna.
They did. You still have both of yours since you haven't used them, so that means you have 2 plus 6s you can use. So you can make that a better than a success by 7 instead of a success by 1.
I will do that then.
All right, it is in fact the perfect landing. By controlling the flaps of the beaver, you're able to land it perfectly compared to your companions who didn't do so well at landing their beavers.
I wrecked my beaver. I admit it.
Yes.
I mean, we wrecked it together. We wrecked it together.
Unmanned,
basically.
the beaver that was piloted by Joe, unmanned, just sails off and then crashes into one of those tall towers. The beaver is just wrecked against the tower.
Man. That is one wrecked sloppy beaver.
And of course, now we need some initiative because these soldiers are not just going to allow you to come in and land your beavers unmolested.
Fucking Christ, it's okay.
Did you say it's in the tower, did you say?
Okay.
It crashed into the tower? Is that what you said?
Yes, it crashed into one of the towers on the outer wall.
So it's just kind of hanging loose and open like that? Just.
I have a
Let's get some initiative, shall we?
22. 22.
Ooh. What'd you do last night, Maggie? Well, I turned people into beavers.
Have you ever made the same genital joke for 3 hours?
Because that's what I did last night. I have to tell my coworkers tomorrow morning.
Whoa. Genitals?
I thought we were talking about the fine Canadian beaver, the pride of Canada.
23. Okay. What about you, John?
19.
19.
Well, we all kind of rolled much better this time.
No, I didn't.
So before we actually get into this combat taking place, keeping your initiative rolls, we're going to meltdown.
What's a meltdown?
Make sure you have the other character sheets handy because you're going to be using other people's avatars. Now, this isn't going to make a big difference for Rosie because she's currently full pilot, but for everyone else, it could make a significant difference. So let's start with John Stone / John Henry and see where we end up over here. In fact, John Stone says, John Henry, you're going to be piloting Cassie Jones for the moment.
All right.
Cassie Jones went to John Stone. So, Rosie, you are going to end up in... Uh-oh. Rosie, you're going to end up as Cordwood Pete.
Oh, thank God.
Sorry about that. What did I miss?
You're in Cassie and I'm in Cordwood Pete.
That makes me John Henry.
That's right. You will be John Henry. And that makes you Joe McGarrick there, Brony, and full Joe McGarrickness.
Lisa,
So let's
I'm
go
fine
ahead and
with,
keep
I'm fine
those-
with being I'm fine with being this man. He's very oh, that was Frenchy.
So, Crash, you're going to go first.
Neat. Where am I?
You just landed. Perfectly landed.
Yeah, exactly as I thought. And where am I? Like, am I? Where did John Henry land?
Just behind the Cordwood Pete and Cassie Jones. Almost perfectly on what remains of the landing pad area. It was a spot-on landing.
All right, I'm going to quickly look around and use my notice skill to see if anybody is on the airship.
I'll take a notice check from you.
I beat it by 4.
You believe that you see a couple of crew members rather than soldiers on the airship who have stayed aboard it.
All right, I'm going to take one of the the tie-down ropes.
Okay.
And I'm going to take a steel spike and I'm going to hammer it into the landing pad so it can't take off.
Nicely done.
Yeah.
All right, Brony, as Joe, what are you going to do?
Well, buddy, I don't know exactly what I'm going to do yet.
You are hanging upside down with the
hanging
ropes tied around your legs, smoking a cigarette, staring armed soldiers in the face.
And I still have belt buckle full of weapons, correct?
Yes. Yes.
Very good.
Lots of pistols that have not been fired once.
Yeah, 5 pistols, fully loaded.
Okay. Well, I'm going to flick my cigarette at first lead guard, who is very obvious with his military look, yeah?
Yes.
Okay. Flick the cigarette at him to confuse him, and then I am going to shoot all of the people I can shoot.
All right, there are 10 total guards up here on this roof. So how many shots are you going to take?
Joe has no
30 bullets.
shooting skill.
Oh, Joe has no shooting. Oh.
He has 0 shooting skill.
Change of plan. I am going to convince them that I was working on this dirigible and fell off, thereby getting stuck and obviously not wanting to waste time and taking smoke break now because smoke break is waste of company time. So obviously I'm going to persuade them to think I am man who is obviously dressed still very much like them working on dirigible.
Give me a persuasion roll.
Oh, buddy, I give you a persuasion roll. Very good. Okay, that's good.
That was quick thinking.
It's
a good idea.
Beat it by 6.
Beat it by 6.
Going to add my 5, so beat it by 11, buddy.
All right, they immediately turn their
roll
weapons.
makes that.
They immediately turn their weapons away from you. They have no more interest in you, Joe. They are convinced that you are, in fact, one of them, and in fact, jump down in such a rush from the top of the airship to warn them about the impending arrival of these others. Clearly, you are on their side.
Oh, very on their side, buddy.
And we will go to John next. John Stone, who's piloting Cassie Jones, what are you going to do?
Indeed. So how many of them are still active combatants?
All 10 of them. Not a single one has been disabled yet.
Kind of what I thought. And where am I? Because I didn't land quite well. I'm tangled
Not
up.
quite well. You kind of slid to a stop about 30 feet from them.
Oh, I'm nearby. All right. Man, I have a baseball bat and a cricket bat. I'm 30 feet away. To make sure something. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay. I can't really.
I would hum the Jeopardy song, but I want this to actually be able to go up on YouTube.
Never stopped me. Let's see here. I don't have my hammer anymore. Okay. This is what's throwing me because I'm not used to Cassie's skills and abilities.
That's what makes a meltdown great.
Yeah, I know. But I still have some of my John Stone abilities.
Yep, you could lean into the John Stone, but you are in the middle of the slider, so.
Yeah. Well, this. Okay. I'm going to just choose to distract them because I can't really effectively fight them right now. There's 10 of them?
There are 10 of them.
And the ground is just regular dirt or something?
It's stone. It's rock. You're on the roof of a building made of stone.
Okay. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do two things really quickly, which I don't even think they would count as attacks because they're not attacking. So I'm going to slam my bat on the ground really hard just to get them to look at me.
Okay.
And then, with my static charge, I'm just going to make a giant spark to blind everybody.
All right. Why don't you go ahead and give me an intimidate check and a shooting check, please?
Nice.
Fair enough. Okay. Well, that failed.
What do you got?
That was awesome. So the first one I failed badly, but the second one I beat by 8.
All right. Well, you slam the bat into the ground, and it just Cassie Jones hitting a bat against the ground is just not all that intimidating. It does make a lot of noise, and you follow it up with that bright spark, however, which is going to make some dancing lights in their eyes for a minute, maybe cause them a little bit of trouble aiming those rifles of theirs. As we go ahead and cut to Rosie next.
Well, a meltdown isn't fun unless everyone plays along, so I'm going to use my buff, and I would like to go one away from my avatar.
All right. You are almost all the way Cordwood Pete then.
Indeed I am. So what I'm going to do is I would like to pick up the beaver plane. I'd like to throw it at the bad guys so that they are attacked by the beaver.
Okay. Flying Beaver strikes back. Give me an athletics test there, Cordwood Pete.
You got it.
Pelting.
It's pelting, all right.
Also, the athletics was much better for Peter than it was for...
Yeah. Are you also going to say dirt to dirt, I'm Cordwood Pete?
Dirt to dirt, I'm Cordwood Peter.
There's no excuse for this, buddy. This is not
That is an 11, so I beat it by 9.
Beat it by 9. You hit 5 of them and take them off the roof of this building along with the flying beaver, leaving only 5
Suck
remaining.
my beaver!
And as they fall down below, they aren't quite killed by the fall, but they are crushed by the beaver when it lands on top of them.
They are
Smothered by it?
They are smothered by
They are smothered by beaver, buddy.
So the 5 remaining are going to suffer penalties to their shooting tests from the distracting spark, and they are all going to open fire on the beaver throwing Cordwood Pete. I have 1 success by 2 and 2 successes by 8.
Wow.
Cheater pants.
I'm going
my
to feel
dodge is 4.
So that will make the success by 2 a miss, but the 2 successes by 8 will hit. Those each inflict 30 damage as you are shot twice.
I'm so glad I get to give this character back soon.
Now that you've gotten him shot a few times, let me hand that back to you.
You know what? I will. Hold on. I will be nice. I will use the 20 Patreon health, so that is only 40 damage.
Hey, buddy, can I also use my 20 to get to...
Remember that you have that 20 health twice because we got the double boosted and stacked support. So.
I still only give it 20 in case I need it later for myself. I'm selfish. But they give it 20.
40 of that damage goes through to Cordwood Pete then. As we go into the top of another round, and you're sticking with these characters in the meltdown because. Go ahead and start us off, Crash / John Henry.
You're keeping us here? There's usually 1 round. That is the rule.
Yes, I'm punishing you.
Yeah, but it's Pax's birthday.
Wait,
I guess that's
who are you punishing?
He's punishing the audience with this bad French accent.
I know.
It's not so bad.
Go ahead and start.
Yeah. I guess I hammer something else.
What exactly do you hammer?
I'm just kidding. Come to think of it, I'm more Crash than anything. I don't have any weapons except for this hammer. And there's only so much I can do in this avatar.
I think that maybe every problem is nail, buddy.
Could be. Yeah, so I'm gonna have to, I guess, continue tying this thing down, put another rope down, so it's not going anywhere today.
All right, you add a second rope down to the airship. It is most certainly not going anywhere at this point. The first one was nailed down. This one is now tied down. And there were already tie ropes in place. It's going to take some time for anyone to attempt to take off in that airship. Brownie, you're next.
Okay, so are they filling these airships from anywhere, like tanks around on the ground?
It looks like they probably already did that for the fuel, but yeah, there's a nearby tank where they have some form of fuel that they use.
Okay, shooting tank, flicking cigarette at tank. Going to look real cool. Because, hey, buddy, fireproof, huh?
I mean, that's basically what I would have done had I got my character back this round.
Okay, I'm going to do what he was going to done.
All right, give me a shooting test there.
Got to fight it. I'm going to persuade bullet to hit. What do I use if I don't have shooting directly? I guess
use your body score.
Body score.
Body score. Okay.
Or you could use the 1 moment of clarity and use Brony's shooting test instead.
I am using 1 moment of clarity and using Brony's shooting test.
All right.
Pew! Pew! Beat it by 8.
Beat it by 8. You fire the shot and flick the cigarette, and it goes up in a ball of fire, which immediately races through the air and ignites the airship as well, which then detonates. This, of course, you're now free because the ropes that were holding you are, blown to pieces. But the explosion is horribly devastating. I need everyone to make a roll against their body score, please.
Ooh.
Ooh, thank goodness.
Do you want us to choose the person we're closest to?
If you're not all the way in one direction on the slider, you can use whichever you wish. But if you're all the way on the slider, you got to use that.
No.
I beat
I'm
it by
not going to
3.
bother then.
Oh, I beat it by 3 rolling 10s instead of 8s.
I totally failed. I got a 17.
In Crash's case, you could use a power use check instead of a body check for this.
Yeah, I was just going to relent to the damage, but I thought it would be cool to have John Henry walking out of a giant fireball, and that would be like the most badass thing ever.
You still absolutely can. This
Oh,
is
yeah.
simply using your power to make it so he's not blown up by the badass fireball.
Let's see. Yeah, I beat that by 10.
Okay, yeah, you're going to be walking out of the fireball like a badass as John Henry. What else did we have for those rolls there, guys?
I missed mine by a lot. By 7.
Missed by a lot? Okay.
I missed by 4.
Missed by 4. All right, the two of you that missed take 20 damage and are nearly blown off of the roof. Joe, you are in fact immune to this form of damage because it's a fiery explosion. Your clothing, however, is not immune to this explosion, and scarcely little of it remains at the end of
This is fine by me. This is good time.
Luckily, the underpants are made of PG-13ium.
They are, in fact, made of PG-13.
Picked up special ones when we were in
At that moment, the guards are also blown up, all of you swap back to your original avatars. So unfortunately, John Stone, you don't get to see yourself as the rest of them do. John Henry walking out of the fiery explosion, hammer resting on his shoulder, completely unscathed and unbothered.
Okay, well, I'm obviously going to use my 2 plus 20s to take back some of that skin damage.
Understood.
Let's see. Health 90, so would have been down to 50, so I'm back up to 70.
And the roof is now on fire, and every alarm in Andersonville is going off.
That's okay. We don't need no water.
Yeah.
Heading down the roof entrance, you enter the complex of the prison. There are no windows here, so
Are we back in our old characters?
Wait.
Yes, you are back in your own avatars. The light is provided by electric light bulbs.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And I bet you that you money that he is getting kickback on every one of them. It's conflict of interest.
The upper levels are a lot of cells, but it becomes quickly apparent that these are just run-of-the-mill sort of prisoners who just said the wrong thing at the wrong time, or maybe they attended a union rally or the like. None of them are known inventors or famous people or the like. As you make your way down through the top several floors, there were some attendants and orderlies that were charged with bringing them food and emptying their waste baskets and the like, but they have fled from the explosion and chaos going on above into the grounds below. You finally reach the bottom floor, the entry floor, and there's a large food preparation area and ways to do laundry and the like, but it is all still very mundane. And then there is a set of stairs leading down beneath where things change dramatically in the prison. It is initially, quite obviously, a laboratory type area. as you enter the first floor of the basement. There are humans in various stages of experimentation being replaced with steam-driven parts or electrical parts or other forms of
Gross.
machine parts. Yes, quite a few of them. Some of them are in the process of being worked on as you enter, and there's a lot of horrible screams of agony and pain, and some of them look like they're barely alive at all. John Henry, you in fact have some vague flashbacks at some point of having your heart replaced here, but most of those memories were long ago taken from you.
What?
It happened here, you said?
Yes.
It's your Weapon X moment, dude.
Yeah, you're Wolverine.
And you follow deeper and deeper past these laboratory and work areas, and then reach another set of steps leading down into a lower level. This is kind of a large open area where these steps are in, where things can be brought up or down. And a solitary Custer waits in the middle of the room for you, calmly smoking a cigarette. So you're the fool who caused all this there trouble. Yeah.
Yes, we called all that this here trouble.
And by my reckoning, that was actually just a small bit of trouble we caused, not even close to the trouble we could.
It was very minimal, yes.
Very small.
Everyone give me notice checks, please.
Okay.
I'm gonna notice so hard.
Yeah, me too. Is it moving? Yeah, I got it.
Missed it by 1.
Beat it by 6.
Beat it by 8.
Missed it by 1. Wow.
All right. Well, Rosie and Crash, the two of you noticed that in the shadows of the corners of the room, there are as a steam golem in each corner of the room with its Gatling gun pointed outwards. And both of you hear like the slight creaking of leather and movement of weapons of men who are hiding just on the other side of the stairwell as well. It's some kind of an ambush.
Uh-huh.
As opposed to an ambeaver?
Yes, as opposed to an ambeaver. As opposed to an ambivalent ambeaver.
I just say, General? And I explode the stairwell.
All right, give me a power usage and then everyone roll initiative.
I'm liking this idea very much. That's a terrible look.
Oh, shit. I beat that by 12.
All right, the stairwell explodes, sending pieces of soldier flying through the air and bits of gun.
I got a 20 for initiative, James.
A 20?
15.
15, you said?
Yeah.
16.
16. Crash?
Oh, initiative. Sorry, I thought I had gone already because I just blew things up.
Normally that would be the case.
I wasn't paying attention because I had just done something. So
it's okay.
It's 11, 14, so 24.
Normally that would be the case, but the reason I had you all roll is because it's time for a rule of cool.
Ah, very good.
So, Cordwood Pete, you can do anything. What are you going to do?
Oh, rule of cool?
Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to talk like this for this because I want to make sure. So I'm gonna yell to Joe/Crash to throw me directly at Custer. At which point I'm going to begin spinning in my saw blade style. I'm going to now. I've learned from being in the Beaver how wings work a little bit, right? So I'm going to swing the axe backwards, creating lift. So as I am flying through the air and spinning and hitting, the plan is connect with Custer, make it his last stand, and then continue to take off, flying around the room, dicing up things from low to high until I'm chopping the heads off the golems. Then landing in the center of the room in a superhero pose and saying, Now, how is that for a slice of fried beaver?
John, in the perfect world, if you could do anything, what would you do right now?
Oh, I'm next.
Mm-hmm.
So once again, where describe what we're seeing here, please.
It's a very large open room. There was a stairwell on the far side. Now it's mostly just a ramp going downwards. Bits of men and rifles are over there. There is a steam-powered golem in each corner of the room, and Custer waiting alone in the middle. He's very, very confident for a guy waiting alone with just a pistol on his belt.
The ramp down has guards, you said?
It did. It got blown up, and the guards are in pieces.
And Custer hasn't even reacted to this? He's just still sitting there chilling?
Still calmly smoking a cigarette.
Is that actually him, or is it a hologram?
Well, holograms would be pretty damn advanced for
well, I mean,
the era of steam.
Lights.
It's a steam hologram.
Or is he an illusion? Because it's magic, an illusion. Not really
there is most certainly a person standing there, and he's sure hell looks like George Armstrong Custer.
All right, fine. That music
Very intense.
put me off. I didn't. Okay. Well, okay. So I still have my rope attached to my hammer because I realized that it's good to be able to pull my hammer back when I need to do.
That's correct.
Last match, last episode. So, I sling the hammer toward one golem, snatching it back. Then sling the hammer at the second golem, as fast as I can. Now, would that be one attack or two?
It's a rule of cool. Don't even think about it.
All right.
Just name your ultimate plan the way it would come off. So you slung the hammer at two of them as part of this ultimate plan. What else?
Then, rather than pull it back from hitting the second one, I take the rope and snap it into a loop so it lands around Custer, which I pull taut and use my static charge to electrify it, much like Benjamin Franklin attracting lightning to the string of a kite. Yeah, so now he's been electrified. That's a 3 for
right.
I call that.
That is. And let's go to Rosie next. Your ultimate rule of cool. What do you do?
All right. For my rule of cool, I want to combine Rosie and Cassie. So I'm going to take out my cricket bat and my baseball bat, and I'm going to slam them on the ground. But when I do, I'm going to activate my magic and think like Groot from Guardians of the Galaxy style. Like it's going to be whole where I'm holding it, but then it's going to like shatter into branches, which are going to lasso themselves around Custer and all be like threateningly close. They're not going to actually puncture yet, but they're just going to be there like ready to like just sink in and kill him.
Okay.
I don't know if we need to question him or if we just want to kill him. We didn't really talk about it as a group, so I don't want to just outright kill him. But like blink of a hat. Blink of a hat? Christian, what is wrong with your wife? Blink of an eye, they could go in.
Enough for years.
I know. And just like,
Crash?
I know what a bad guy Custer is in any world. And there's still 4 golems plus whatever Custer is, probably a demon or a werewolf or some horrible ass thing, let's be honest. I took out a bunch of the minions already. How many guys died in that stairwell, would you say?
15 guys died in that stairwell.
Okay, so I don't want to do something mean to Custer. I want to do something incredibly evil. So, using the powers of Harzul, the incredibly evil, I shall raise all of these dead Custerites from their eternal stairway slumber. Although they are not completely solid anymore, they shall conglomerate into a puddle of gooey evil that is there to consume the flesh of their former master.
That is incredible.
Puddle of gooey evil.
Yeah, I'm going to necro summon them from the dead and make them into a custard golem.
Oh, yes.
Well, there, folks, you have it. And it looked like that everyone was handing their votes over to PAX to let PAX decide during that whole thing. So it comes down to PAX deciding who wins that rule of cool.
2 seconds, James.
Do.
Boom. Yay!
Crash wins!
Oh, hooray.
Everyone else still has to try to do everything they said, but they have to try to do it at a -5 penalty. So you got to be 5 worse at every skill that you attempt to do in your different lovely attempts there. And we're going to start once again with Pete and his attempt to become a...
I still get an athletics roll to throw him, though, at a +10, correct?
I suppose we could do that, but only if you use the team up.
I'll use the damn team up.
Okay. Usage of the team up. So the athletics check to throw him will be at a +10 because you won the rule of cool, even though Cordwood Pete did not. However, because you're using the team up and all of the appropriate skill checks that Pete's going to use, he can use the best score of either yourself or his sheet.
I beat it by 15.
Beat it by...
Damn!
And Pete takes flight. Now for the spinning axe hacking, I'm going to require an athletics and a fighting.
Spinning axe hack.
All right. My athletics is...
And you might want to check in, and because you're using a team up with Crash, and
you can use my athletics.
Okay, what do you get? Because I beat mine by 10 plus 5, so I beat mine by 5.
What's your athletics?
20.
Oh, mine is 2. So I beat mine by 15.
Perfect. Use his.
Okay.
And then the fighting, you're gonna probably get this one too.
You're better at fighting than I am.
Oof. Well, roll anyway, because I did not make my fighting.
Oh, I did. I rolled a 6, so I beat mine by 12.
I'm taking his fighting.
All right. The lovely usage of the team up. You begin helicoptering around the room, hacking.
So spinning with my axe.
Yes. First, you hack into Custer several times, leaving numerous gory and bloody wounds on his person, and then bouncing away from him into the 4 corners of the room, chopping into these various golem parts, sending sparks and bits of metal flying. Let's see what happened with John on his. So we had the 2 hammer throws, followed by the rope snap and electrifying. So I'm going to need 3 athletics checks from you, John, all at a penalty of 7 total. 2 for the multi-action and 5 for the 5-point penalty. So roll against your athletics as though it is 7 points worse than it is.
Well, hold on. So I'm going to invoke my running hot ability.
Uh-oh.
It says John can overclock his steam heart, taking 10 damage per turn to give himself in exchange for an extra attack on that turn.
Ooh, so you can use that once and not take the multi-action penalty and go down to only a -5.
Exactly.
Nice. Well done.
That's a great idea.
So
now I also
athletics
have one more remaining +6 to roll.
So you can make one of those still at a +1, and then 2 of them at a -5.
Fantastic. So here we go. Okay, so I'm doing how many rolls? 3, right?
3 athletics tests.
Okay, so did beat that one by 4.
Beat by 4. Okay. Minus
Beat that one by
5
6.
next to. So beat it by 1 with the minus 5 penalty.
Beat that one by 5.
Beat that one by 5. 0 with the minus 5. So all 3 are still a success. Your first 2 hammer throws impacting these golems that are in fact being chopped up by the spinning axe of Cordwood Pete, smashing their heads and scattering their parts across the room. And then wrapping around Custer, who is being bleeding from all the cuts from Cordwood Pete, and electrifying him. Smells a lot like burnt hair when that happens. And then Rosie with the breaking apart the 2 bats and wrapping up Custer in murderous intent.
Yes, so I just have to remind myself of Rosie's sorcery skill. So I'm gonna use my 4 Patreon so that I actually beat it by 4.
Actually beat it by 4.
And counteract that -5.
Wrap up Custer and these swirling bits of the broken bats, points threatening in at his flesh. And of course, then Crash using Harzul, the inexplicably evil, is an automatic critical success. And these bodies swarm together in the custard golem, which oozes across the floor, leaving a bloody and gruesome trail behind it as it reaches hold of Custer, held in your hands, who's also bleeding. But rather than attempting to grab him or maim him, instead these numerous limbs on the custard golem use the cuts provided by Cordwood Pete as points of entry on the body of Custer, tearing into him and spattering more blood and gore everywhere around the room.
Okay, that's probably fine. Nothing to worry about. It's a bit of a mess. Sorry. Oh, sorry. Sorry.
Yes, it is horribly graphic. And just when you think it is all over.
Where's Clemens? I forgot to ask where Clemens was. Oh, God.
I feel like maybe it's all over.
The room shakes, and coming up the broken apart ramp is a thing, a monstrosity. Long tentacle telescoping like legs supporting a massive cylinder pumping out steam. Attached to this cylinder pumping out steam is the upper half of Edison, surrounded in armor with more of these strange tentacles coming off of his body and a pair of Tesla coils mounted to his back.
Gross.
That is not good.
Super gross.
And he is going to go ahead and let Crash have it with the Tesla coils before we start the next combat round.
Yeah, that's a smart move right there.
He doesn't know. It's not his
Edison
fault.
has no idea what Crash's powers are. Oh, and that's going to succeed by 10 and be a critical success. So that's going to inflict 100 points of electricity damage on you there, Crash, as we start the next round, which your 24 will have you go first.
Okay. I guess I just have to go hit this thing now. It's about the size of a bank, yes?
Yeah, it's about the size of a bank.
Get
And
it.
it's filled with steam,
Yes.
and he just gave me 100 points of damage that's all electricity based.
That is correct.
Okay, for my first attack, I teleport inside of his body.
Give me a power usage roll, please.
No problem, I beat that by 5.
All right, it is very warm in here, and there's a lot of both steam-powered machinery and electrical machinery. Not just Edison's work, though it is clearly the work of someone else has been done here.
Someone else.
What a thief.
I take a mental picture of the inner workings as a free action.
Mm-hmm.
Because, you know. Oh, and also, are any of the parts mysteriously rotating?
Yes, in fact, they are. A lot of the parts are mysteriously and inexplicably rotating.
Okay, I needed to make sure it might have been some of my own work. So at least I know where to hit it. Right in the bank. And I'm converting all that damage into pure kinetic strength.
All right, give me a fighting test as you punch Edison from the inside.
My plan is not to, like, punch a hole through it, mind you, but to, like, hit it so hard that all of the rivets fly out, and it just falls apart.
All right, give me that fighting test, please.
My fighting test I rolled a 6 on. Beat that by 14.
All right, you swing with everything you have, releasing all that kinetic energy stored up from the electrical blast. And it is much like you say, the rivets all fly free. But that isn't where it stops. In fact, every disconnected plate and part that is now not riveted in place also flies free, and they begin bouncing and ricocheting around the room, and the upper, somewhat bloody and gruesome torso of Edison hits the ground flopping like a fish.
Nice.
That is unnerving.
Did he have a bottom half of his torso before, or was he literally like half Gollum?
He was half Gollum.
Ugh. I feel like I had that idea. He stole it from me. Seems like his MO.
It's incredibly wild west of him.
Punch him in the John Peters.
And he hits the ground, seemingly defeated.
Why do you say seemingly?
Because there must be a twist.
Obviously, or he would still be a whole person.
Where's Clemens? Half man.
Clemens, tell us all.
Save me first.
Save you from
You are
what?
half a person. What do we do? Put you in the Ziploc?
He looks like he's in a pretty bad way. He's probably going to bleed out, not attached to his equipment.
Oh, I'll cauterize that for him if he needs.
He screams horribly, and
Look, we're saving you.
passes out from the pain.
We did not say it was.
And we'll drag the no good son of a bitch out in the street so he doesn't die in a fire or something too.
Well, there is still the ramp going downwards into the complex as well.
Great, we'll take him.
All right, you drag him down the ramp, and you find numerous isolation-style cells down here. There are all kinds of people in these cells. Let me see if I can get a proper list of individuals. You've got Professor Richard Gatling there. You have Tesla himself is held in a cell. He's seemingly the worse for wear, perhaps a little bit insane from his treatment. You've got George Washington Carver, Booker T. Washington, Emily Dixon, Annie Oakley, Wild Bill Hickok. The list goes on and on of so many individuals kept in these isolation cells.
But it's regular Emily Dickinson, not Ninja Emily
I
Dickinson.
think we all know that I have to let out Richard Gatling first and foremost so I can give him the biggest hug ever.
Acceptable.
That dude has saved my life so many times.
All of them at one point or another forced to work and invent and create for Edison and give him credit for their designs and inventions and discoveries.
Do we let Edison alone in the room, in the center room with them, and let them meet us up top? No questions asked.
And in one of the cells, there is Samuel Langford Clemens, Mark Twain. In some borrowed clothing, it looks like.
Right, because he lost his.
Twain, we made it. We have your Butch Cassidy as well. He is very famous now.
Well then, it would seem all has gone according to plan.
Oh, and I have an Edison.
I mean, I don't know. We flew beavers here. Maybe that was not part of plan.
I would be surprised if that was part of the plan.
Yeah, that would be shocking to me as well.
As long as someone saw you do it. That's the important part.
I mean,
Yeah.
A lot of people saw our beavers. That's for sure.
that is for sure.
With all of these folks released and able to run free, perhaps there is more hope once again for the spirit of the West.
There's always hope.
Now, about the blimp, you're probably thinking you can fly away in. Sorry.
I am certain among all these learned gentlemen we can come up with an alternative method of escape.
Okay, because we blew the hell out of that thing.
We've got some Wright brother machines that work pretty well. Even though we made them mostly a flapping wet beaver.
Well, one is creative where one must be.
You could maybe take your mammoth cod for a flight in the beaver.
That sounds like quite a wonderful plan.
No.
Thank you, Pete. And that, folks, is this episode of Masters
Yay.
of the Metaverse. Once again, they have succeeded in restoring a new semblance of hope and a new sense of adventure in a metaverse, giving it a new lease on life, as it were. What happens next will be up to these individuals that they have set free and the influence that they have provided on these avatars. I want to thank all of you for joining us for a crazy Angry Beaver episode of Masters of the Metaverse.
I don't know
thank
how
you guys
none of us
so
saw
much.
that coming.
Yeah, no, honestly, I did not think I was going to do that tonight.
Yep. I did not.
And again, happy birthday to Liz.
Yes.
Happy birthday,
Very
Liz.
happy birthday, Liz. Thank you so much.
Everybody
Thank you all in chat. And thanks all chat for celebrating Liz's birthday like that and showing your support. That was really awesome.
Every
Nice,
one of her birthdays
classic
should be an
episode
episode of Metaverse.
Yeah. But I want to thank all of you for joining us. We got more stuff coming up next week for Metaverse. We got more episodes of our shows coming up this week. You've got Void Jumpers. We've got more Trapper and Crow on Friday. You just don't want to miss it. Zoe's always got some great stuff going on, and we love having you guys be a part of it. I really want to thank Andy for being able to show up the past 2 episodes. I know he's got a really busy schedule, and it's really difficult to get him in here on the show, but we love having him, and chat loves having you on the show, and as many appearances you can make are always great. So thank you so much for being here and being a part of it. I want to thank Sean and Maggie and Christian for being a wonderful cast today. All of the beaver jokes were just, well...
Oh my goodness.
We're just a lot. There were just a lot of them.
We just stuffed the beaver right in there.
Some of them are kind of sloppy though.
And of course, it's all
Oh god,
thanks
just
to
cut
Andy.
the feed, Mark. Mark, cut the feed. Just cut it. Just cut
Thank
it.
you
It
all
won't
for
stop.
joining us. We'll catch you more on the next episode of Masters of the Metaverse. Good night, everybody.
Beavers.
Beaver.
Masters of the Metaverse, Masters of the Metaverse. They travel through time and space and stuff. Troll them, re-roll them, throw them above. They fly through dimensions, this isn't a bluff. Heroes compelled, they have no choice. Bound by the winds of a secret voice. Masters of the Metaverse, Masters of the Metaverse. Masters of the Metaverse, Masters of the Metaverse.